Alrighty then, ladies and gentlemen, it is time to start Table Talk Thursday, episode 26. We're going to go ahead and swap on over to that there actual thingamajigger. Do we got it? Yeah, there we go. Yeah, there we go. We're listening to Tristan. Ayo, good shit. Alrighty then. So we're going to start off the night with...
So, thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for joining us on Table Talk Thursday, episode 26. It is our 6th month of doing Table Talk Thursday.
It's our half-year anniversary thing.
Yes, woo. We talked about doing something...
His enthusiasm.
We talked about doing something special.
That we've been doing it for so long.
I'm kind of surprised. But kind of not.
This is one of the only things that even when I don't stream myself, this is the only constant that exists. I mean, like, I thought...
A hurricane didn't stop us from streaming.
I thought D&D was going to be constant. Nope. I thought Shadowrun was going to be constant. Nope. Like, everything that's supposed to be constant in my life doesn't exist. This exists. And then we have mine and Highkick's Weeb Show, which I think we're good to do on Tuesday, right? Tuesday? Yeah. Mr. Highkick. No, I know. That's when we do it. But I'm just asking him if he's good to do it on Tuesday. I mean, there's been a couple good new animes. There hasn't been a lot. We'll have to see by Tuesday. I think by Monday we should tweet out with a decision whether or not we're going live on that Tuesday, or if we're going to wait another week for stuff to enter. But anyway, I'm your host, HarkBrother_1. Also known as David, as my co-host and friend Dito over here.
Reigning Death 909, also known as Kenneth.
And he butchered his own name. Beautiful. We're off to a great start.
It's been a crazy day.
Oh, really? You'll have to explain some stuff.
We were thinking about doing something special for episode 26, but we never really talked about it. And with the Vegas tragedy that occurred, it's really taken precedent.
Yeah, I mean, it's fine. It would have been perfect for conspiracies, though.
No, there's already conspiracies. There were conspiracies the hour after it happened. Hell, when it was happening, there was conspiracy theories.
That's what I'm saying. It's great. It's perfect. But anyway, there's still stuff going on. Caught up on anime, but maybe wait another week so we have more to talk about for the Weeb Talk show. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We can
Did
decide.
You just run out of animes or something?
Well, there hasn't been a lot of new animes that me and him really want to watch. There's a lot of shit that I'm gonna say we're not gonna watch. There's all of the one that has Fox people in it. The Sengoku Blood one, probably we're not going to watch. The little Fox girl thing that I watched, it's not really worth watching. It's not my cup of tea. I watched the first episode just to be like, this looks cute. I'm like, oh, it is cute. Oh, it's slice of life. Oh no,
slice of life.
Oh no. That's not my thing, my cup of tea. I like action and fighting. The other one is a reverse harem. There's a girl, there's a lot of very pretty boys, and I'm like, no, it's going to be one of these ones that makes me feel awkward for my sexuality. But it's got fighting in it, and the fighting's badass, so it's I might stomach the shitty romantic bullshit for some nice fighting. That's what I like. I like brutality.
With things like that, it's going to be 50%, romance and 50% to 40% fighting, and then 10% of some crazy shit thrown in.
But as long as the fighting's badass, that's all that matters to me.
I know, but if half the show is romance and whatever the fuck.
I don't know, they're all pretty boys, that's all I know. I don't know if it's necessarily romance, but they're all pretty boys for sure so far. And I'm like, that's a bunch of beautiful boys. It's like the new Final Fantasy game. It's called Final Fantasy Beautiful Boy Game.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Black Clover and Yuku Holders are going to be good. They're both very fighty, and they're pretty good story, good animation. Those are going to be good. Probably.
Well, why not go back and review some classics?
Because that's not something we've done. This is for seasonal anime mainly. That's not a bad idea.
If you need more content, go back and do classics. Everybody loves classics, and you may have a different opinion.
Oh, I have tons
you have many
of classics.
opinions.
Fuck you. Not only do I have
that was a bad
thing. I know. No, this reminds me of, I brought up last night on Discord with all the dudes that were playing Tarkov, I brought up the fact that Iraq was fought for oil, and everybody got real quiet. Everybody's like, this is taking a turn. This is taking a huge downhill turn. And I'm like, what? And then I was talking to one of the dudes afterwards, and I was like, how's that a downhill turn? All I was saying was because I was like, I don't care what anyone thinks. Iraq was totally fought for oil, and that's it. Anybody else thinks otherwise is full of shit. It's because I said it like that exactly, probably. But still, I mean, yes, it was fought for terrorism, but the biggest deal is it was fought for.
Well, what did the other people think?
They didn't say anything. They were just like, I guess the answer were like, they grabbed the tin flat, placed it on me, and then just pushed me over to the side and were like,
have fun there, buddy.
Yep. But no, it really wasn't. It wasn't like that bad. Is their camera too low? I think it's too low.
Is it too low?
Yeah, there's definitely some.
It's always too something, and zoom it in.
I guess. Enhance.
Enhance. We're just gonna ignore that.
I'm just like looking at it like, wait, there's something wrong here. Yeah, I can barely see it right there. That's why.
Yeah.
It's fine. It's fine. Nobody needs to know that we're enhancing. It's cool.
There we go.
There we go. There. See, nobody knows. Everything's fine.
We're good.
Turn off the light icon.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Cool.
All right. There we go.
There we go.
Okay then. On the fly corrections. That's what we do. So.
Yate. I mean, if we did that, I think it would be in the form of YouTube videos. Dude, I mean, really, we could, like, go every Tuesday. We could throw in, like, old anime shit. I have a stack of anime in my room that I can bring out and just, like, come up, show it right here and be like, this high. Yeah. This high! Anyway,
I mean, it'd be good, because there might be some people who may never have watched some of the classics.
Oh, there's a lot of classics that, like, people don't know of.
Yeah, so, you know, it may give people a news like, oh, I didn't know that one exists. I should go watch
I'm new into anime. I'm gateway into the weeaboo world. Well, boy, howdy, do I have chink eyes. All of a sudden I go to like Asian mode. Alright, we show you how we do it in Japan. I'm sorry, that's terrible, but it's hilarious.
My co-host, everyone.
Do what? What? Anyway.
Oh god.
Hold on.
Oh lord.
Can I do the eye thing? No, I can't. I can't stretch my eyes because my glasses are in the way. I've had friends that do that, and I'm like, that's terribly hilarious. Anyway. Alright. Let's get back on.
Let's get to the news. Let's get to Vegas. So.
Go Vegas. Viva Las Vegas.
Except right now, unfortunately.
Now. Viva Las Vegas still, question mark?
Yeah, of course, always Vegas.
I'll let you go ahead and
always bet on Vegas.
Yeah.
So, to start us off, as you know, we're starting off on Vegas, the terrible, one of the worst mass shooting in American history. 59 dead, over 500 injured, and news reports are coming in from across the country with information about the shooter, who he was, what he was doing, his life, and everything that can be found. So this is actually some rather troubling news that was discovered. Was that the Vegas shooter had booked a room in Chicago during Lollapalooza. Could go either way. So, investigators are looking into whether gunman Stephen Paddock, and I will say his name. I know some people have a rule against saying the person's name or showing their picture.
I mean, if it's in the news articles that we have, it's what it is.
Yeah, and it's a part of journalism. Of course, some people are worried about if you say the name and show the picture, it gives credence into people who do this as a way to get popularity.
I'm more worried about, like, children or kids doing something like that than an older man. This dude's, like, beyond old. This dude's, like, geriatric level old.
No, oh, he's 60-something, 62.
I thought he was in his 70s.
No, 62-something, I think.
Sure.
I don't believe so. No, one of these stories don't really say. Yeah. So, looking into whether Stephen Paddock scoped out a bigger music festivals in Vegas and Chicago, and perhaps Boston's Fenway Park, before setting up his perch in a casino hotel and raining deadly fire on country music fans. Paddock booked hotel rooms overlooking the Lollapalooza Festival in Chicago in August, and the Life is Beautiful near the Vegas Strip in late September, according to authorities reconstructing his movements.
Life is Beautiful, I think, is where one of my friends went. That was a massive EDM fest, I believe. That would have been more sad because I actually knew people. I don't know if I knew anybody that was there at this shooting or not. I know. I have a friend that lives in Las Vegas, but she was all right. She doesn't like go out or whatever.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah. But other than that, I don't really know of anybody. And by friend, I use the term friend loosely. Somebody I used to play games with a long time ago that no longer exists in my life.
Okay. You should excommunicating them.
I excommunicate everybody.
Just like you're banned from the church. Leave my presence!
I'm not that bad. So, no, you can still come here if you want. Thou shalt not be named. No. This is
he who shall
not be named. And I'm like, no.
In early August, Paddock booked a room at Chicago's 21-story Blackstone Hotel that overlooked the park, where the Lollapalooza Alternative Music Festival was being held. Though there's no evidence he actually stayed there, a law enforcement official said Thursday. The official was not authorized to discuss the case publicly and spoke on condition of anonymity after being briefed on the investigation. The hotel confirmed that Stephen Paddock made a reservation but said he never checked in. Lollapalooza draws hundreds of thousands of music fans every year to Grant Park.
Wouldn't that be further away from him? Like, way further away?
Yes, it would be.
That's probably why, because...
But he booked a hotel room, which means I don't know, some hotels may make you pay in advance, some don't.
Yeah, I mean, he might have, it might have been with us, he might have booked it, just canceled last minute. But then he might have, gone over the logistics of taking, fucking 30 weapons into a hotel that far away.
Maybe.
With 14 cases, right? Was
it? 10 cases now.
10 cases. But still, enjoy driving in a car with that much shit.
Yeah. But, I mean, it definitely... And they said he never checked in.
Yeah.
So... I don't know. It's suspicious, for sure. Definitely suspicious. Investigators are looking into whether Paddock also came across mention in Fenway Park, Boston police have said, though he provided no further details. The details came to light as investigators struggled to figure out why the high-stakes gambler opened fire on a crowd of 22,000 Sunday night on the 32nd floor of the Mandalay Bay Hotel Casino in Vegas, killing 58, injuring 500 plus now, before taking his own life. U.S. officials and U.S. authorities are looking into the possibility Paddock planned additional attacks, including a car bomb, as you may have... we talked about this.
We talked about
it earlier this week.
Live on stream, when it happened.
On stream.
One of my streams. We were talking about how there was bomb
that he had explosive material in his car and at his house. So authorities previously disclosed he had 1,600 rounds of ammunition in his car, along with fertilizer that can be used to make explosives and 50 pounds of tannerite.
Okay, so the tannerite is the explosives they found, because tannerite's an explosive. It's completely illegal.
Investigators have been combing through his background and remain stumped as to his motive. The profile developed so far is of a disturbed and dangerous man who acquired an arsenal over decades, Sheriff Joseph Lombardo said. But investigators have been frustrated to find that he lived a secret life, much of which will never be fully understood. In other developments, in a rare concession, and it is truly rare, on gun control, the NRA announced its support Thursday for regulating bump stocks, which we will cover what they are, or rather, what's going on with them. Attachments that can effectively convert semi-automatic rifles into fully automated weapons. Paddock apparently used such devices during the bloodbath.
I still think it's bullshit. We'll have to pump the pictures again live so I can show you, but it didn't look like it. There might have been one. There's only one rifle that looked like it had a fixed stock, like the bump stock. Only one, though, out of all the 6 rifles he had in his room.
10.
Well, the 6 rifles from the pictures, yeah. I'm saying. There's only one out of the 6.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I'm like, whatever.
Anyways,
but I've never seen those before. I never heard about those before in my life, so I don't really care about them being fucking limited.
Mm.
They also look dumb as shit to me.
Yeah. The coroner's office in Las Vegas would not release details. 64.
There we go.
On the autopsy of Paddock, some behavioral experts have wondered whether the 64-year-old Paddock suffered from some kind of brain abnormality or had a terminal illness that prompted him to lash out.
Wouldn't they know that by looking through medical records? They would know. They wouldn't know that already.
Not really, no.
They would have known if he had a terminal illness.
Yeah, if you had a terminal illness.
That's what I'm saying.
But the person who may have... But the coroner's office may not have that information.
No, I know. But I'm saying it wouldn't take... For instance, FBI and stuff's on this case. It wouldn't take them any time at all to find
But in this particular blurb, they didn't talk to the FBI. They talked to the coroner's office.
Yeah.
So the coroner's office probably wouldn't have that.
And the brain abnormality thing is kind of random.
Yeah. Well, we'll talk more about his personality and attitude later. The weekend before the massacre, he rented a room through Airbnb at the 21-story Ogden Condominiums in downtown Vegas and stayed there during a music festival below that included Chance the Rapper, Muse, Lorde, and Blink-182.
Nice.
Some of those are good bands.
Muse, Blink-182.
I don't know about Lorde. People like Lorde.
I don't know about Lorde. I definitely don't know about Chance the Rapper. I don't know who that
Chance the Rapper is. I'm not going to take a chance on that.
Ha ha! Shitty pun.
Terrible. Reasons that ran through Paddock's mind is unknown, but it was directly at the same time as life is beautiful, Chef said. Police are reviewing the video shot at the high-rise to check Paddock's movement. His renting the condo was curious because as a high roller he could have easily gotten a free room at one of the casino hotels in the Vegas Strip. Paddock killed himself as SWAT team closed in, the sheriff said. It appeared he had planned to survive and had an escape plan. Interesting.
Lombardo would not elaborate on the plan. How would they know he had a plan unless he had it written down somewhere?
I suppose, or I don't know. I don't really know. I mean,
they might be piecing it together just like because he had the condo or something. But it's like
no. He had just rented a condo for the music festival that had happened the weekend before. But I don't know because all hotels, of course, have staircases and stairwells, but in this kind of a thing, those stairwells would have been monitored.
Yeah, like there's only so many exits out of a building,
especially on the 32nd floor.
Exactly. And you also have to have you have to run a long fucking way down.
Yeah,
they have to also run a long way up too. So
yeah, unless you have a freaking helicopter at the roof, or I don't know,
parachute.
No, scaling down. You like rope and shit.
You talking about a zip line?
No. You know how people scale down.
Oh, you're talking about rappelling.
Rappelling, that's what I mean. Yes.
Yeah.
You just need 300 feet of rope.
That actually would have been the greatest idea, but then somebody would have spotted him on the outside.
Of course, somebody would have spotted him and shot him.
I'm actually surprised that nobody in that crowd, this is my first thought, is that nobody in the crowd had a concealed carry and decided to shoot at the general direction at which they saw muzzle fire. That was my first thought in my head. I would have shot back.
Well, I think because I've been reading some things, I think some people had thought about doing that, but there was a lot of chaos because there's 22,000 people.
Oh yeah, no, there was a lot of chaos.
And for a few minutes, you didn't know where it was coming from. Mm-hmm. And people were also worried if they brought out their guns, the police might have shot them.
That's also a true statement too, because it could be an attachment or whatever. But part of the thing is if a police officer didn't do it or something like that. Because, you could clearly tell where he was shooting from, at least a little bit after, because you could just start seeing the muzzle flash.
Well, people started reporting it was coming from the Mandalay Bay.
Yeah. Well, that's the first thing. I don't know. I play a lot of video games. That's my first reaction. Just
But also, he's at the 32nd floor. What the hell are you going to do?
A pistol really couldn't...
I was going to say, is anybody really that good of a shot with a goddamn pistol to shoot from the ground?
It's possible.
32 stories up, and I don't know how long...
Yeah, it depends on how far away they are. I think because pistols only have an effective range of a couple hundred meters.
Yeah, then there's no way they probably any pistol...
No, probably not.
Probably any pistol could have shot.
You give it a try, though.
I suppose.
It's a simple point-and-click interface. That's one of my favorite fucking, Futurama references. It's a gun. How easy? Well, it's a simple point-and-click interface. I'm like... the best thing ever.
Yes. Alright, so that covers it for this one. This next one is...
This thing is wigging out.
Yeah, I know. It was doing the same thing for me. I think that thing is just broken.
I'm
North Korea shaking.
Fucking seizure warning, everybody. Anyway... Is there actually a story underneath this, or is it just
it's just that video?
Okay, so we're rolling the video.
Yeah, we're just rolling the video. It's a short video. Let me just listen to this. Is there still no desktop audio?
Nope, there's no desktop audio.
Oh, for God's sakes.
Every time.
Why is the goddamn desktop audio broken?
Oh. It should work when it gets switched to default, but it doesn't work. Oh well, whatever. They were talking about some shit. Shall we reroll the video?
Let's reroll the video.
Okay.
Milan Quijano.
It's only a minute
America
long.
is truly a nation in mourning. Those words from President Trump Wednesday during his visit to Las Vegas in the aftermath of the deadliest mass shooting in modern U.S. history. The president and the First Lady met with victims and hospital staff at the University Medical Center. Mr. Trump said the hard work of the doctors and staffers made him proud to be an American. More than 500 people were hurt and 58 killed when gunman Stephen Paddock fired on a crowd of concert-goers Sunday. And police are still trying to piece together why he did it. Body camera footage released shows the horrific scene. Gunfire rang out for more than 9 minutes. SWAT police later stormed Paddock's hotel room and found him dead of an apparent gunshot wound. Paddock's girlfriend, Mary Lou Danley, was questioned Wednesday by the FBI. Danley's lawyer says Paddock wired money to his client so she could buy a house. Danley described Paddock as a kind and caring, quiet man. According to her lawyer, she had no idea he was planning anything.
Kind and caring, quiet man. It's always the quiet ones, man. They'll get you. I get you.
Are there any other indications and maybe...
Alright, Las Vegas shooting. Timeline of events.
Yeah, so this is here, just a brief timeline.
Or is this what we're reading?
Yeah, we're just going to read it. The
Roger Dodger. Alrighty then. These are all wrong, don't care. Thursday, September 28th. Suspected gunman Stephen Paddock checks into the Mandalay Bay Hotel and Casino in Las Vegas. Sunday, October 1st, 9:40 p.m. Country music star Jason Aldean starts his performance at the Route 91 Harvest Festival in front of a crowd of more than 22,000 in Las Vegas. 10:05 p.m. This is when when Paddock begins to fire. The Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department says Wednesday. 10:08 p.m. I see shots coming from the Mandalay Bay halfway up, someone says in a police scanner.
So in 3 minutes
published by Broadcastify.
after the shooting. Yeah, so in 3 minutes after the shooting started, they knew it came from the Mandalay Bay.
10:12 p.m.
Now, if you see there, so that's where he was shooting from, and then that's where the festival was.
Yeah.
So as you can see there, that's a scale of 200 feet. So I'd say the Mandalay Bay was probably about 1,000 feet away.
You know, that dude was making some good shots.
And then he's 300 feet up, so... I don't know, man.
I don't know, where's that, who's got that math? Who's got that theorem of Pythagoras?
That's what I say. We need Pythagoras theorem what's in here.
Excalibur Hotel, a Luxor Hotel, main entrance, site of Route 91 Festival. Yeah, there's a lot of the shooting. Anyway, 2 officers reached the 31st floor of the casino and announced the gunfire is coming from directly above them. Las Vegas police later say on Wednesday, 10:15 p.m. Paddock fires his final shots, police say Wednesday. 10:17 p.m. This is when 2 officers get to the 32nd floor where Paddock was. What? According to the police timeline. 10:18. A security guard said he's been shot and tells them where Paddock's room is. Police say Wednesday. 10:20 p.m. It's been a while since we heard any shots, someone says in transmission. The New York Times reports. Does anybody have eyes on the shooter?
So he was 1,050 feet away.
So, a mile? About?
No, miles like a couple, miles like 5,000 feet.
Yeah. He was still far. How many meters is that?
Roughly about 300 and some odd meters. I'd say maybe 350.
Yeah, that is the effective range of a rifle. An AR platform like AR-15 is going to be farther than that. He had, like I said, he had DMR set up in longer range scopes. It looked like. Mm-hmm. He was super good, but I mean, he was spraying I don't know, fuck. Either way, The police later say this is when 8 more officers show up and begin to move systematically down the hallway, clearing every room and looking for any injured people. 10:38 p.m. We're investigating reports of an active shooter near and around Mandalay Bay Casino, police tweet, asking everyone to please avoid the area. 11 p.m. Part of the Las Vegas Strip is shut down, authorities tweet. 11:20 p.m. Authorities use a device to breach a Mandalay Bay room. They observed the suspect down on the ground and also saw a second door that could not be accessed from their position, police later say Wednesday. Observed suspect down on the ground and also saw a second door.
Yes, because he had actually reserved 2 rooms that were connected by a door.
Oh, yeah, like in normal hotels.
Mm-hmm. Part of how he was able to get to both the windows.
Yeah.
Was he just went through the open doorway.
Something I could already say it's bothered me is there's this large gap between when somebody supposedly got shot by him and when he stopped shooting.
Mm-hmm.
And when they actually finally breached the room.
Well, and also, it doesn't show that here, but also there was a Mandalay Bay security guard.
That's what it said. It said up here, it said, security guard says he's been shot and tells him where Paddock's room is. It says right there at 10:18 p.m.
Yeah. So I think Paddock knew that once that happened, police were coming. So I think he was probably trying to formulate a escape plan if he had one.
Maybe.
And eventually his escape plan became death.
I mean, that is the best escape. You can't charge a dead man with crimes.
Yeah, because I think that's why it was that abruptly stopped. It's because he clearly saw people around him and he wanted to try and get out, I assume.
Yeah. See, that's a good question, though. Did he, fire on people running from the hotel or anything like that? Right directly below him? Because, I mean, the first window on the side that he broke out the entire window. He could have jumped out the window and stuff, like I said. There's a lot of things he could have done. He could have looked straight down at people and just, picked people off if they were leaving the hotel.
But nobody was leaving the hotel.
I guess not.
No, once the shooting started happening, all the hotels went on lockdown. So nobody left, nobody got in. Doesn't matter what hotel you were supposedly staying at, you stayed where you were.
Nice. 11:27 p.m. A second breach goes off.
Into the other room. And there's nobody in the other room, of course.
Yeah. Why couldn't they get to the room from where they were?
Why did it take 7 minutes?
That's another weird thing.
Well, I guess because in that first room they breached, the suspect was he was in the first.
He was in the
first one, so I don't know. I guess they're probably worried about the second person being in the other room.
Yeah. But I mean, why didn't they? If the dude was moving freely between both rooms, why couldn't they access the other room? The door
he might have locked that second room to prevent access going in if he needed some escape route or something. Just another barrier to prevent.
Yeah, I don't know. That's weird. Officers quickly realized there was no one else in the rooms and announced over the radio that the suspect was down, according to authorities. They should have announced that he was down. One of them was down before. Observed the suspect on the ground, also saw a second door that could be not accessed by the police.
Well, I'm sure they wanted to just be absolutely sure.
But still, it's weird.
You know how it is. Especially with things like this, you don't want to do too much. I don't believe there are any more shooters,
Las Vegas police tweet. At 12:21 a.m. 1:40 a.m. I was awake during all this and I was watching some of these videos. I found it quite interesting. Officers confronted the suspect on the 32nd floor of the Mandalay Hotel, Lombardo says, early Monday morning. Authorities say the man is dead. They don't release the suspect's name, but they say he is a local resident. The death toll stands at more than 20 dead and 100 injured. Las Vegas authorities tweet they're looking for 2 vehicles associated with the gunman.
And then this is when information about his girlfriend came out.
2:22 a.m. Las Vegas police tweeted a photo of Mary Lou Danley, movie Paddock's partner, sitting there to her, looking for her. 3:30 a.m. At least 50 people are said to be dead, with more than 200 injured. Authorities have identified Paddock as the suspected shooter. They also say they have located Danley. We have located the vehicles in question. We are confident that we have located the female person of interest. Las Vegas police tweet at 3:37 a.m. Mary Lou Danley is no longer being sought out as a person of interest, the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department said in the Atlanta Journal-Constitution report published later Monday morning. LVMPD detectives have made contact with her and do not believe she is involved in the shooting on the Strip. 4:11 a.m.
Which makes sense. I know a lot of people are saying that she was suspicious that she was in the Philippines at the time.
Yeah.
Apparently he had purchased a ticket for her to the Philippines and told her to go visit family.
Yeah.
That's what she did.
And which is one of the things I'm saying is like he's super premeditated this and he's trying to protect her.
Yeah, and that's why he transferred the $100,000 was because
the problem is with that money now is it's probably not going to go to her anymore.
Well, it's already in her bank account in the Philippines, and I mean it wasn't like illegally transferred; it's still her money.
No, I know, but surrounding the situation, I think they might try to like pull it or something. I don't know.
Possibly,
because it's something they can do. Like if it's something he did preemptively, and it's basically a part of the case that he did that knowingly, willingly, that he was going to be.
I know, but without there being criminal intent, even though it was
obviously there was criminal intent because it committed.
It wasn't criminal intent as a part of moving the money because it wasn't done. It wasn't done illegally.
No,
it was done legally, but after that, yes, he had criminal intent by what his plan was.
Yeah.
But the transfer.
So that's what I said. They might freeze it. They might do something.
I'm sure she'll try and fight to keep it.
Oh yeah, and I'm sure she'd probably be okay to keep it. I don't know.
Yeah, and I don't know what happened to his money because apparently he has millions of dollars. I assume that'll go to his family. I don't know. Or maybe some kind of court will be like, nah, because this happened, we're going to take this and give it to the victims.
Or whatever, yeah.
I think that has happened in the past.
Maybe.
I'm not 100% sure, but I think that's happened where if like somebody causes like a person like this causes like a lot of injuries to people or deaths or something, and then they may be sued for damages by the family. So it's
possible. Yeah, you could sue anybody for any damage done to you.
Will most likely be sued to pay recompensation or whatever for the deaths.
I said reconciliation, but
no, that's not. Whatever.
I think it's reprehension.
No, it's close. Whatever.
Yeah.
They'll pay money to the families.
I don't know. I'm still going to go with reconciliation. Anyway, 4:11 a.m. My warmest condolences and sympathies to the victims and families of the terrible Las Vegas shooting. President Trump tweets, God bless you.
I mean, we're not really talking about conspiracy theories, but sure.
What does he say? When we start talking about conspiracies, can you guys put on tinfoil hats for comedy purposes? Oh, totally.
Sure. Do you even have
I don't even have tinfoil.
You don't even have tinfoil.
Kenneth, I'm going to need to bring tinfoil. And I'm probably never going to take that hat off. But anyway, I actually probably do need it because I wear a wireless headset. It's probably not good for my brain. I also still have this bump in my skull.
Well, no, a lot of signals probably can't reach through the human body.
I guess it's true because it's water.
Yeah, so that's no problem.
But if I'm wearing it, it's a giant like metal antenna. Yeah.
Not really. A lot of antennas are extremely low power.
Mm. So no, but I'm saying it's a giant metal headset. Like wearing this and walking in front of a microwave is probably not a great idea.
No, you're fine. Microwaves are self-contained waves. That's why there's no problem with it. They have their metal mesh surrounding the thing.
No man, it's bad shit. I don't know.
Even though microwaves do interfere with wireless signals.
Yeah, I know.
But that's because when your microwave is on, which is at 2.4 gigahertz, the signal has difficulty passing to it, but that's a different story because it's a signal. And that's because it's trying to get through a box producing...
Let me get a Geiger counter.
That's it. I mean, if you get a Geiger counter, go point it up against the goddamn brick and you'll see it go off.
Go what? Oh, against the brick? What?
Yeah. No, bricks are radioactive material.
Really? Well, no. Like, everything is inherently radioactive.
Yeah, no, there's no level radiation surrounding it.
Yeah, there's background radiation. Apparently in deserts, which I guess is part of the reason why bricks are radioactive, deserts are highly radioactive.
Yeah, some deserts are, yeah.
Like, it's kind of funny. But, I mean, they're not radioactive to the point where it does anything to you, like radioactivity.
No. I mean, we're surrounded by it.
Yeah, background radiation is a thing.
I mean, you go get, like, an MRI or a CAT scan or something.
All right, so no, that's not okay. That's different. You can only have so many of those a year.
Yeah.
It actually becomes an issue.
I know. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Is that,
It's just like whenever I had my brain, like, my skull scanned at the dentist office, and I was telling the lady my head was tingly. She's like, that's weird. I was like, thank you. Because my sister said the same thing before, and she went through a fucking x-ray, and she told the techs that, like, she felt a tingly feeling.
I don't think that's ever happened to me.
And they're like, that's not normal.
I don't know what kind of Chinese freaking dentist office you go into.
I didn't go to a China. I went to it cost $10,000 to get my 4 front teeth replaced. It wasn't Chinese. These bitches should be solid gold, but they're not. It's fucking stupid. I was like, hey, Mom, can I get gold? She's like, fuck no. Mom was so pissed off when it said that. She was like, no, you're not getting gold because I don't want you looking like a stupid rapper or something. I was like, fair point. I got gold on my chains. Okay, I'm done. Done. All right, carrying on. 5:33 a.m. Las Vegas police tweet a press conference which says a SWAT team found Paddock dead in a hotel room at the Mandalay Bay. So that 50 people are dead and 406 others are. Police say in the release that an off-duty officer is among the dead.
And the death toll keeps climbing as the day continues.
Yep, at 8:44 a.m. death toll reaches 58 with 515 others
59 to now 527.
And that's 59 to 527. Then it's a immediate release.
And this just gets a press release talking about trying to find the motive.
It's been anyways, reduced to 568 according to a news release by Las Vegas, whatever. During the conference, a number of those entries was 527, but the previous press release, Jesus Christ. News conference, Paddock set up cameras. So during a 1 p.m. news conference, authorities say Paddock set up cameras inside and outside the hotel room.
He put a camera in a food service cart outside his hotel room. I guess that's the camera outside his hotel.
Yeah, they say Paddock put a camera in a food service cart outside his hotel. Why did he put cameras in his own hotel, though? I mean, I guess, like, if he was going to move over to the other room.
I mean, imagine if he's going to move to the other room or as a trophy.
I don't know. That's weird.
I don't know, because
at least they have the video. We'll have to see what happens if they release the video.
I don't think they're ever going to release the video. I'd be highly surprised if they did.
They should.
I don't think they will.
They really should. It would clear up a lot of things.
I mean, I'm sure the police have it or whatever.
Well,
that's the thing. It depends on if it was actually recording or whether it was just streaming. Distinction. It could have just been set up just to stream.
Stream. It has to stream somewhere.
No. Just like stream to. I guess you assume he had a laptop or something in the hotel room because obviously he used it to watch the cameras outside in his room.
To watch, I guess, the one camera.
To watch the one camera at his room to see if anybody's coming up. So.
That's pretty smart. That's really high level smart to do.
Well, yeah, I mean, clearly, this was very premeditated.
This is like no. I don't think you're understanding here. This is a ridiculous level. This isn't like your normal.
Yeah, no.
This is something that's actually kind of scary. This is like something.
Well, this is a smart man.
It's something. He was really smart, but I mean, like, I don't know. I'm gonna keep all these thoughts to myself and start doing like really deep research because now I'm like very questioning.
I mean, it's not difficult to set up a camera.
Yes and no. Depends on how he set up. Depends on what it is.
I mean, if it's like a Wi-Fi camera, just set up on the hotel's Wi-Fi, nobody's gonna question it. It's not like hotel IT is gonna just be suspicious of anything.
Well, okay. So I have a wireless IP camera, and it's not that easy to simply set up just on like Wi-Fi based off like what you're saying. It's not that simple. It took me a lot of effort to start getting it set up and working.
But the fact of the matter is, it's possible.
No, it's possible. But like,
besides, this guy clearly had money. He could have bought just a simple plug and play kind of camera.
Plug and play to where? Does he run a fucking wire in his room? Like that's what I'm saying.
It could still be. I don't know.
It's not. That doesn't exist. Wireless IP cameras aren't plug and play. You have to plug them in, pull out a laptop, like remote into them locally, set them up, just like anything else you would have to do, and then place it somewhere.
I'm sure he could have done that.
No, I know, but I'm saying not a lot.
Clearly, he did something.
He's 70-something. I mean, he's 64 years old.
That's technology. He's also extremely wealthy.
Wealthy. That's
money
another
can
reason.
buy
wealthy
shit.
People don't do that.
I don't know. Money can buy you shit, man.
I don't think money can buy you an automatic setup IP camera. It could buy you an already set up system that you bought from like the neighborhood IT guy, I guess.
So maybe he did that or something. Who knows? The guy was an accountant, a realtor, and other things. A gambler.
Apparently he was a gambler. I'm assuming he didn't really lose much money because it doesn't sound like even if he lost, I guess he didn't care.
That's actually
what if it was broadcasted to the deep web? Possibly, I guess. I don't know.
I mean, it would have come out. There would have been something that would have come out if it was.
Pretty much.
I mean, nobody broadcasts anywhere on the deep web, and it doesn't get found out the next day, or the same day, or that hour.
Probably within minutes, I would even say.
Within minutes. It's Twitter, man. Just something be like, oh, this thing's going on. Bam, bam. Here's the Onion link.
Bam, bam, thank you. The Onion link? Which I guess is the Tor stuff you're talking about.
Yes, that's the dark web.
Oh, see. When I hear Onion, I think about the Onion News Network.
Also the Onion.
Yes.
Anyway, so I don't care about the rest of this because it's up to date.
Alright, cool. He doesn't give a shit about the rest of it. Fuck it. Carrying on.
You're learning more about his gambling life, and it was a...
Roll the video! And then I'll cover a bit of the story if they don't cover it.
Absolutely was a big one. We heard his brother, we heard his family. We've heard a lot of people connected and talk about his professional gambling life. Well, we turned to his home in Mesquite, Nevada, and it is in that home that there are some clues. He purchased it in 2014, and in the application to purchase this home, a home he decided within 5 minutes that he wanted because it was at the end of a cul-de-sac. It had a lot of privacy. It didn't have any other houses around it in the backyard. It had houses on either side, but nothing obscuring the backyard. What we've learned in that application, that real estate application, is that he listed as his profession that he was a high-stakes gambler and that he gambled $1 million a year. And then to underscore that point, Aaron, he purchased that home in cash for $369,000. 5 minutes deciding to buy that house and just dropping the cash right there. So he had liquid funds.
Right. So
they still have the
who knows whether he was being completely honest about the $1 million, but certainly the cash would seem to indicate that there was something there.
I don't actually know.
That's not the room because it's like more. It'd be more like over here, over here.
And very unusual need for privacy, didn't he?
Quite unusual because we've heard from other neighbors within that cul-de-sac, that area, that yes, he was private, he kept to himself. So how many times have you heard that about people who engage in illicit type of activity? But
gosh, now suddenly if you want privacy in your home, you're engaging in illicit activity.
This is a home that's already private. It's perched on a hill. It doesn't have any houses in the backyard. But then when he moved in, he erected a privacy fence. It was a fence that irritated a lot of people. There was a screen around it, and it was so ugly that a petition was started in this
there was an
HOA community that's considered to be very, very safe. So he wanted to be intensely private. That petition was signed by 20 people, and they asked that it be torn down, and the association sided with them. Something else that he said that a neighbor heard is that I don't want people looking at me. I don't want to look at them.
Okay. I mean, it sounds like shit I would say. That sounds like me.
So, okay, well, everybody keep an eye on FBI, keep tabs on this.
Talking about me? What?
Yes.
Oh. I already talk about really bad shit all the time. I don't even care. I haven't gotten that bad yet.
So apparently authorities have found nearly 4 dozen...
What are you?
That was still the same story.
Oh, I thought we were done with
I was going to cover a couple things from it.
Oh, well.
I'll just cover a couple things from it.
Fucking... I got you, fam.
So he had more than 4 dozen firearms in 3 different locations. 23 in Paddock's home. It's down a bit further. Keep going. Over there.
You're learning more about his gambling life, and it was a big one.
$1 million, for fuck's sake.
Oh, go ahead, money.
Said something.
Yeah, authorities say they found more than about 4 dozen firearms in 3 locations. 23 in Paddock's hotel room, 7 at his home in Reno, and 19 at his home on the cul-de-sac in Mesquite. They also found ammonium nitrate used in bomb making in his car and in Mesquite. And the rest of it's basically what the news story said. Yeah, there's really nothing more to it. Yep. Apparently he was rather rude sometimes to Starbucks employees and to his girlfriend, Mary Lou, or wife, I'm not really sure.
Mistress?
No, he wasn't married.
No, mistress.
No, why would it be a mistress?
Mail order bride, something? I don't know.
No. Apparently they're saying here that Mary Lou Donnelly was a waitress at a high stakes area in a casino. I guess that's where they met. Apparently she was an Australian Filipino. Anyways,
I find this funny.
Yes. Physically ill manager who sold guns to Vegas shooter speaks out. And I will point out there is some bias in this news story. I'll point it out when we get to it.
Really? Really? You're pointing out bias in a news story? Well, this is MSN. They're not mainstream. I don't think this counts. Even though it is made.
No, they're mainstream.
He wouldn't count them as mainstream. He only counts like CNN.
CNN's definitely mainstream.
Fox
is definitely mainstream.
Washington Post, any of the big
I hate Washington Post. They're so biased.
That's what I say. That's one of the things I was saying. It's like, really? Post? Ugh.
The place used to be good, but their bias now shines through them. So, Guns and Guitars general manager, Christopher
I still
Sullivan.
like that name. We talked about this, like, yes, was this yesterday? That was yesterday on stream. On the 15-hour stream from yesterday. By the way, we're going to play some more Taco Night. Woo!
And, ladies and gentlemen, this Saturday, we will be going to get that Szechuan sauce from McDonald's.
Bro, we gonna IRL stream it. We're on the hunt for Szechuan sauce. Oh, but then your dad's going to be there. It'll be weird.
Really? Well. Whatever, do it anyways. Fuck it, we're doing it live.
Doing it live.
We're gonna walk in there, live stream this. Yeah, I need that Szechuan sauce.
Bro, I need the Szechuan. That good Szechuan shit. Oh, I'm sorry, we're out. You're what? I'm gonna jump back behind that car and I'm gonna kick your scrawny ass and steal all of the sauce. Give me the fucking sauce.
Don't worry, I've got the route mapped out. If one's out, there's 3 others to hit.
There's only, I thought there's only 2 on that list that have Szechuan sauce.
There's everyone on that. Well, everyone that's on that route I sent you that has Szechuan sauce.
Oh, okay.
There's 5 in Houston. 4 of them are on the route.
I wonder if it's gonna be like super lit. It might be. I
don't know.
With the Rick and Morty cult following, I'm worried.
It's Rick and Morty. It is one day only Szechuan sauce,
and it's on a Saturday. Also, why are we going at 7? I don't think we can get it at 7. Because, like, it's being served with the new chicken selects. It's a lunch thing.
Well,
they don't start serving lunch till 11:30.
No, they start serving lunch. Well, they serve breakfast all the time, so I don't think they're actually... I don't know.
They don't start serving lunch till, like, 11:30. The one in Bay Sydney, I think most others are like that, too.
Oh, whatever. We'll go at 10 and see. Because I think for a lot it's 10:30.
Maybe it's 10:30.
I think it's 10:30. So whatever. It's going to take us an hour and a half to get there.
Yeah.
So, we leave here like 8:30. 9. We'll make it there. For lunch.
There we go.
That's what I'm planning.
For early lunch.
You better be up. I ain't waiting for your ass.
Sweet.
Anyways.
You will totally.
And then... once we're done here, we will live stream our reactions to it. And you will all know the glory of Szechuan sauce, even if you never get to try it. Sucks to be you.
Dude, I might have just got a fucking contract.
Oh, yeah?
Sweet. Yeah, for that. Did I tell you about that? There's a place that they made a post on Facebook saying they need IT services. My mom tagged me and I just messaged the lady. And I'm like, hey, I'm with Bay City Technology. Who do I need to speak to offer my IT services? He hasn't said anything. Nobody said anything. They're just sitting there watching. Hi, Dakota. Hi, Kek. And myself, I guess. But yeah, no, carry on with the story.
Anyways, so it was ill. We physically ill to think that we had interacted with him and he had committed such a tragedy. And then CBS is like, feel any guilt about what happened? CBS News correspondent Del Marco Morgan asked. No, I don't know. We do everything right. We can't control what somebody else does once they leave this store. I think that's the bit of the bias there. It's like CBS is just like, hey, you feel guilty? Yeah, what do you think about, you selling guns to people who kill people?
It's one of those things that I hate whenever they start doing something like that.
Hey, nudge, yeah.
Because didn't we see that in something else recently? Oh, it was during all the hurricane stuff where they're like, they continue to ask the same question. Do you feel neglected?
Oh, yeah, and
then they threw that and they used that, like,
they feel the title.
Neglected. That was their headline. And I was like, oh, God. And, like, it's easy, when you formulate a question like that, it's easy to get that answer, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Especially people who do feel neglected after the federal government policy.
I mean, my daddy left me when I was young. I feel I'm kidding. I mean, I'm not kidding, but still.
True story, but no.
Actually, true story, but no.
Anyways. Sullivan said Paddock had been a customer of Guns.
I don't know. What? That's funny. That's hilarious. That's a good response. Did you read that part where he said no? Good. Yeah, just good on you, Mr. Gun Salesman guy. Good on you for not falling for that trap. Also, for probably being a heartless human being. I can support you. Same though. Because that's exactly what I would have said. Nope. What he did with what he bought, it's his business. All we do is sell guns. His background, we all would have said that. It's just like his background came up clean. Nothing came up. He bought the gun and he left. That was it. This happens literally any other day of the week.
Mm-hmm. Anyway. Had been a customer of guns and guitars for about a year, and in that time, the shop had sold him 5 firearms. Just knowing that this may have been his last stop before heading to Vegas, does it make you feel some type of way? Sort of responsible. That's another thing they're trying to...
Damn, they're really pushing. Jesus Christ.
They really are. This morning over coffee, I was having a moment with myself, thinking that I may have very well been the last person to shake hands with the man. Well, that's a weird thought. Okay. And then they had a little blurb why Stephen Paddock's gun purchases didn't raise red flags, because there were no flags to raise, probably.
Yeah, because as far as everyone else is concerned, there's nothing.
Paddock fired into a Vegas crowd. Paddock had 24 guns and 12 of them had bump fire stocks. So you may need to take a closer look at those guns.
Well, we didn't even... That's the thing, from those pictures, we didn't see 24 guns anyway.
No, we didn't see 24 guns. We saw a couple, I'd say 8.
Was it 8?
But, I don't know. But there were guns there, so clearly...
Yeah, no, there were guns, and I think, like I said, I might have only seen what I would say looks like that bump stock on one of them, though. All the other ones were just tactical stocks. They were really good tactical stocks, don't get me wrong, but they weren't any... I'm gonna look at this right now, actually, on the Discord.
I deleted them.
Why did you delete them?
For other people's sake. Just, they're on... The Daily Mail has them. Just Google.
You could have just put them in, like... I don't know, one of the lock channels that nobody gives a shit about.
I suppose so.
Could put it in Brainstorm, because now we're brainstorming. I'm just gonna start going and start drawing on the walls and like connecting my dots with my fucking web shit and be like, all right.
Like in that house that you're gonna buy. It had the
spider web. Oh my god! It had the board of the fucking lights right there. I need that house now. I'd be like, I'll be in my study if anybody needs me. Dude, that would have been a great place to do our talk show too, like right there, because the light just cast straight down over what would be a green screen.
We could have had it in the background, be like, yeah, it's a spider web there.
Yeah. So as you can see here, I have determined
we've connected the dots literally.
It's like, no, I'm not crazy. Look at this right here. There's this really shitty pixelated photo, but you can't see that. See that one pixel right there that's off? That's his face about 300 miles away.
Enhance. Just it's like, and there it is. It's CSI level of enhancing.
If only it was magic.
There's like 3 pixels. Enhance that photograph. Perfect license plate. 4K clarity.
What's funny is a lot of the like cameras everywhere that people use are just such ass quality you can't really tell much. Mm-hmm. You're like, he's white, he's wearing clothes.
That's about it.
Did you see how tall I was? No.
A couple pixels high.
A couple pixels high. A couple pixels short of a hair.
Is he Mario?
Was he wearing coveralls? Or overalls? Yeah, that's hilarious.
Anyways. The legal devices are attached to the back of rifles and allow squeeze triggers to slide back and forth, more quickly simulating automatic fire.
I don't think that's a good, that's not a good option for an actual automatic rifle. Well, I don't know, I'd have to get one of these and see how good it is.
These bump stocks are basically a workaround that allow people to take a gun that's perfectly legal and turn them into something the equivalent of a machine gun. Which... Hearing how quickly those gunfires rang out.
That sounded like proper automatic, though. I don't know.
I don't think any of them were. I think they had this.
It's still as fast as you can pull a trigger for most things.
Or, I don't know, maybe he didn't... I don't know how it worked exactly, how bump stock worked.
Well, it's supposed to work like you say, or I guess you have to pull the trigger hard, but it's because I guess it adds to a stop point. Because your trigger will basically click at a certain point because it's a mechanical mechanism.
Yeah.
So it'll pull and it'll click, and then it still has some travel time back.
But the force.
So what it does is it's probably right after the click and it's rubber, but you still have to pull with enough force to make it bounce. I mean, the gun will also shoot, and the recoil, I guess that'll be because it'll shift into your arm and just bounce it back. I don't know. I'd have to get one of these devices. I'd have to see videos on how these things works, to be honest, because it's a piece of rubber. You can theoretically do the same thing probably with a fucking little metal pin device you can just weld onto the bottom of the buffer tube. It would probably be cheaper.
I guess. I don't know. Winkler said that if there is gun reform, it could involve regulation of modification devices like bump fire stocks. I think it's the kind of regulation that the NRA may support, and surprisingly, the NRA has actually come out in support of regulating them.
But I still want to say you can buy legally automatic firearms, like in the state of Texas and other stuff. It's called like a certain stamp or whatever.
They're just extremely expensive.
It's only a couple thousand more, which is expensive, I guess, for some people. Obviously, for this guy, he could have paid for it. This guy probably... So legally, you can actually buy military-grade weapons. Like, it's hard to get around. But you can. You can buy, like, really old, like, legal-grade, weapons. Like, you can say you're a fucking historian or a collector. And he could have bought, like, a fucking 50 caliber Browning or something like that. That's belt-fed. Could have easily bought the ammo for it because he had all this money. He could have bought a lot of things. He could have bought a fucking tank. You can buy tanks. It's legal.
Yeah.
He could have bought a lot more like worse things because he obviously had.
No, he's gonna buy one of those crank fire guns.
The what?
The old school like guns.
Oh my god, the old school Gatling gun. Some people have made their own. The Redneck Obliterator. Have I showed you that?
Yes.
The one that's like a fucking 5 SKSs attached to itself and it just like clicks. Oh, that is a beautiful gun. Or. Beautiful multitude of guns, technically, but yeah.
Just imagine if you had that.
Just sitting there cranking. I mean, with all those... Because I still believe he had like 60-round mags or something. He had some really long mags.
He actually did have a lot of explosives.
Well, he didn't have a ton of like explosive proper. The 50 pounds of tannerite is explosive proper. But ammonium nitrate by itself... isn't really too bad.
But combined with the tyrant.
I guess.
In conjunction with it or something,
I don't know. Because, like, tannerite...
I mean, you gotta consider, wasn't the Oklahoma City bombing just basically a truck full of fertilizer?
Something like that, I guess.
If I remember correctly, it was like a truck full of fertilizer just driven into the underground car garage of the federal building.
I think it had something in it that actually blew up anyway.
Yeah, well, I mean, he had 50 pounds of... the Terratite or whatever.
Tannerite. Dude, 50 pounds of Tannerite by itself will fuck shit up. I have friends that fuck around with Tannerite. You can go buy pounds of Tannerite from fucking Academy. It's completely legal.
And of course, now it's probably going to be that's probably going to try and restrict it.
Maybe. I don't even... That's one of those weirdest things. It's like, they're like so anal about explosives, yet Tannerite became like legal. And it's like completely legal. And I'm like, but that's a fucking explosive. Like, it's so volatile. It's a 2-part mixer, right? So you put it in, and you just mix it together, put it in this little, like, and you put it in shitty plastic containers. And, like, just you busting the container is what causes it to explode, I think. I think it's like a sudden pressure. I don't know. I'd have to double check, but it's a 2-part mixture. You just mix it up and close it off. And as soon as, like, a round hits it, I don't even think it has to be incendiary. Like, I don't even understand how it works. I think just the 2-part mixture probably creates gas that's, like, super volatile, so as it hits, I guess, atmosphere or whatever. And so as soon as you puncture it, just boom. And like, boom, by boom, I mean boom. I've had friends that have almost died because of stupid shit. I had a friend that put it in a fucking barrel. He was like trying to be, I guess, quiet about it because he was like in a neighborhood or whatever, and he shot like a quarter of a pound or something, one of the smaller packs, and like it fucking blew up the barrel and shrapnelled the barrel. Like, it was terrible. And I was like, dumbass. The only thing I said to him was, you're a fucking dumbass. Like, you didn't think that would happen? I learned my mistake.
Redneck in a cul-de-sac.
I learned my mistake whenever I made my own fireworks before by cutting up a bunch of fireworks. It was just tiny little tea, like those tea light candles. I put a little bit of gunpowder from I had a dud firecracker, so I cut it open. Was like, I guess that'll work. And then I had my own fuses. So I threw a fuse in there, packed it in with fucking paper towels, and then taped it. And then I was like, I wonder how this will work. I had no idea. Lit it, put it under a fucking bucket because I did it in the middle of a random day. And fucking boom! And the fucking bucket was bowed out and burnt. It was a plastic bucket, so it bowed out the bucket, melted part of the sides and burnt it. I was like, holy shit. I'm never doing that again. Basically. It was interesting though. So yes, for me, having my own time playing with non-explosive explosives, don't do it.
Yes, don't do it. Yes, next.
Alright. Vegas shooter's girlfriend, Mary Lou Danley, never expected violence from him. I loved him. this a video play thing or no?
It's 8 minutes, so you can play. I guess you can play a bit of it.
Celebrating her 28th birthday with her sister Athena and her boyfriend Derek Miller.
This is talking about the victims, so it'll probably get to talking about.
I told him was like,
not worth it. Don't care.
Okay.
Okay. Mary Lou Daly, the girlfriend of the gunman behind the Las Vegas shooting, said in a statement that she was not aware that something horrible like this was going to happen. Did she just randomly, get told to leave? Like, I don't know. Depends on how he asked. It's weird. Anyway, Matthew Lombard, the attorney representing Danley, read a statement Wednesday from her in which she said she knew Stephen Paddock as a kind, caring man, as we said earlier. I loved him and hoped for a quiet future together with him, Danley's statement said. He never said anything to me or took any that I was aware or understood in any way to be a warning. Paddock opened fire on a crowd of concertgoers from the 32nd floor of the Mandalay Bay Resort Casino on Sunday night, killing 58 people and injuring hundreds more. He is then believed to have taken his own life. Danley's statement added, "It never occurred to me in any way whatsoever that he was planning violence against anyone." More than 2 weeks ago, Paddock told Danley that he had found a cheap ticket to the Philippines and suggested that she take a trip home to see her family. She said in her statement, she hadn't been to the Philippines since 2014 when she was going through marital problems with her former husband. Her brother, Reynaldo Bustos, told ABC News from Philippines. Like all Filipinos abroad, I was excited to see family and friends, Danley said in the statement. While she was there, Paddock wired her money so that she could buy a house for herself and her family. Danley said in her statement, Paddock sent tens of thousands of dollars overseas before the shooting, ABC News reported Monday. I was grateful but worried, Danley said, adding that she thought the flight to the Philippines and the money was his way of breaking up with her. That's a
Can I get somebody to break up with me that way? Just send me $100,000 and a flight somewhere.
Shit, with the way I go through women recently, like fucking 2 days, and then you send me on a flight and you fucking send me $100K? I'm down. Actually, $100K can't buy me a house though here. Like a really tiny house somewhere, I guess. Like you can't even afford a house in our shitty town for $100K. That's annoying. True. Shit, maybe I'll just go to Mexico. But then I have to worry about the cartels. There's just be driving in my front.
You can always go to Phoenix.
What can I buy in Phoenix?
A house.
Are they cheap?
Yeah.
Really?
Phoenix has pretty good value for houses there. Because it's Phoenix.
I was going to say, but then it's Phoenix.
But then it's Phoenix.
I'm going to walk outside and be like... And then, I'm just going to start burning immediately. Just walk outside.
You're just going to see a haboob coming your way and be like, I'm not dealing with it.
What is that?
Sandstorm. Oh. But it's what they call it out there. It's an actual name for a thing.
That's weird. I would just call it, I'd be like, oh no. Like, I'm going to walk outside and I'm here. I'm like... Fuck off, Darude! I'm gonna go back inside my house.
There's your warning. Oh my god, I can just imagine if you had like an alert set up on your phone for sandstorms and that was it. And then you're just like, shit, let's go.
Just walk outside the sandstorm, just like roll up a fucking handkerchief and just walk outside and just start dancing outside. Dude, when we drove through, because we went to Arizona, when we drove through New Mexico, we drove through a sandstorm, and I was like,
that's dangerous.
This is terrible. This is a long time. This is in my mom's Jeep. I would hate to do that now in my car. What does that sound?
That was your phone.
Was it? Oh. Mm-hmm. I would hate to drive through a sandstorm in my car because my, nice, my air filter would be like, and just start, eating a giant penis. My poor nice K&N filter would be like... I'd have to stop and fucking smack it a couple times and get all the sand out of it. It's terrible. Anyway, Danley is cooperating with authorities in the investigation, Lombard said. Danley, who said she is a mother and grandmother, asked for privacy for her and her family, but offered to do anything she could to help ease suffering in her statement. Danley arrived back in the U.S. from her native country, the Philippines, Tuesday night. She was aboard when Paddock carried out his deadly attack. More than 22,000 were attending the final night on the Route 91 Harvest Festival on the Las Vegas Strip across the street from Mandalay Bay when the assault began. The motive for the shooting remains unclear, but police said it was obviously premeditated. Yeah. A total of 47 firearms have been recovered from 3 different locations associated with Paddock. the Mandalay Bay hotel room, his home in Mesquite, Nevada, and other home in northern Nevada near Reno. Alright, so I want to say, my uncle has more guns than this. Just because you have a shit ton of firearms doesn't make you really a problem. However...
I mean, you said your uncle is kind of crazy, right?
He's like everybody's uncle. Everybody's got that one uncle. I'm sure you do too.
I assume he gets drunk on Thanksgiving and starts ranting about aliens and illegal immigrants.
No. Maybe the last part. Not the first part. Depends on what you mean by aliens. If you mean by illegal immigrants, aliens, maybe. He talks about, like, I don't know, he used to. He disowned the family and stuff because it was all part of the men in my family that are like that. My dad and all them. But either way, he likes to go out to bars and drinks. He picks up women, nasty looking women from bars. He used to be in the Navy. He cusses like a sailor. I get my fucking sense of humor and like my just existence from him. I am very much like that man, which is weird. But other than that, he's like kind of a nice guy. He's kind of an asshole sometimes. He's really nice at heart though. It's weird. Like, he has weird expectations for service industry stuff and things too. He gets really mad and he'll just like rage quit from.
He should go to Paris and just be annoyed at all the waiters there.
Basically, he'd be annoyed at everyone everywhere.
Well, everybody in Paris is rude.
Really?
That's what I've heard from numerous people who've traveled to France.
Ow.
Like they say, once you get out of like the major cities, people get nicer. But especially Paris, everybody's rude.
So I need to go to Paris. Like work at Paris Walmart. Welcome to Walmart. Go fuck yourself.
They're like waiters don't wait on you. Waiters will be like, here's your, like, what do you want? Okay, that's what you want. Here's your food. You'll see me at the end of your meal. They don't check in on you. They don't do anything. They're like, you done? Okay, here's your bill.
So you have to be like, ding, 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 waiter. So you have to like basically ask.
And then they're gonna be, and then they look at you annoyed when you do that. Service from everything I hear.
Well, also I don't think they live off tips. They probably
no, they don't. They don't have tips.
They're at least paid correctly.
They are paid correctly, yes, but still. It'd be nice to get some fucking service.
I think our waiters and waitresses need to be paid correctly. I like tip culture, kind of. I hate the fact I hate the fact that you're expected to leave a tip even if you get shitty service by some people. I understand there's some people and there's some things that you can't do. You know, as a server, like I understand sometimes there's kitchen issues. Like I said, I worked in a restaurant, but like when you badmouth people that don't pay you a tip, because like I've seen the way some of you people work, like as of people that I know, and like you don't deserve a tip. You're a fucking cunt. You don't help them out. Like the fact that I'm a dishwasher dude, and like I've actually helped out people sometimes more than other people. Like someone's like, "Yo man, can I get a Coke?" Got you. I mean, like it's.
I mean, it happens everywhere. I mean, yeah. Whenever I was in
I get shitty service sometimes. And
when I was in New York, I was eating at an extremely fine restaurant. Mm-hmm. One of the most popular restaurants in New York City. I got bad service there, but there was a waitress there who wasn't even the waitress from my table who gave me better service than the waiter that was. I left a fantastic... I'd never tipped this. It was like $20. It was a huge tip. But I left that tip there for her, and I even wrote on the damn check, "Thank you for your service." I asked for her name. I wanted it to be explicitly clear. She was the one who helps me with my service. Doesn't matter where you are. It doesn't matter, you know. Sure, I may not have been dressed as well as all the other people.
Okay, so that's another thing. Like, if you go to a nice restaurant and it's just like, "Ugh, he's not dressed right." Yeah, so apparently they are they're a non-profit with limited resources and funds. I probably won't get paid much, but I'll do.
Who are they?
It's like E242 or something, E2F2 or whatever. It's the non-profit GED program here.
Never heard of them. Or I think I've heard of them with the acronym.
Yeah, I've never heard of. Like, I think I've heard of the acronym, but I've never actually heard of them. Apparently, they were where the Girl Scouts place is. But they have apparently they have 12 computers that aren't working, and they have 3 projectors. And I'm like, oh no, projectors.
Have fun with that.
Yeah, the biggest problem is it's going to be like, let's see what's actually broken and why. Hopefully it's all easy stuff and they don't have to actually pay me a lot of money. Because maybe I'll do it and then I'll get my name out. And then it might be what I need. And then
hey, everybody loves working for a non-profit. It looks good on the resume.
Does it?
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah. Well, this is my own company, remember? I'm going in as my own company.
Yeah, no. I'm just saying. Everybody loves a non-profit on the job. Because it's like, oh, look at him. He's working for charities, working for non-profits. Oh, So fantastic.
I guess, I probably won't even charge a lot, because I don't even charge regular people a lot.
Enhance that, it's relatively tiny.
Huh? Oh yeah, the words. Crackdown!
Bump-stocks sell out at American gun stores as Crackdown looms.
Everyone's like, oh shit, that's what he used? Nice.
I know. Like, everybody, oh, so that's what that killer used. I'm gonna go buy everything.
Well, yeah, a lot of the gun people will. This gun, this AR setup bugs me.
Oh, yeah?
That's a shitty LE polymer stock. That's the shitty, I think, base grip that comes with it. And the shitty M16 style handguard. It's plastic. You can't put any mounts on it. And it's got the really nice modern fucking flip up sight on it. And the nice waffle looking mag. That gun just gives me AIDS. Anyway. I'm sorry. It's terrible. Carry on though. Updated about 6 hours ago.
It's your story.
No, I just covered the fucking woman.
Nah.
I literally just covered the woman's story.
Anyways. For more than a year, the Georgia gun store in Gainesville had...
Gains! Gotta get them gains!
IT shop of Gains.
Dude, okay, so that's the other thing. When I looked at the Planet Fitness one, so their starting pay is only $50K. Their range is $50 to $60K, which kind of sucks.
So where is it?
It's in Austin.
But
no, the way they're talking about, there's yeah, IT. It's funny how they say it. They're what we do will not get us where we need to be, because they're basically saying we need IT because we don't know IT. We know gains. And then it's
we got those gains, bro.
But there's multiple exclamation point comments, and they were are you ready to work for a team? Are you ready to get fit? Are you ready? And I'm oh no. This is the hey IT man. Let's get some gains.
And they'll be but I've got this. No. We're gonna get gains.
The biggest problem that I saw in that is, so this is all they want. They want you to send a resume to them instead of a cover letter. They want you to write a 350-word essay or just answer as to or an answer to the question of how do you see IT in relation to customer service? And I was oh no. I was I already know what's gonna happen, because it says this IT job is supposed to talk with upper level management and figure out what they want and do whatever. And I was oh no, they're just going to want a yes man. It's just yes, we'll buy whatever you say.
So. It's Jerry Smith whenever he's stuck in that virtual reality. Yes.
Yeah. Yes. Yes. Yes.
Do you mean that I'm fired or I have the promotion? Yes.
So I have the promotion? Yes. He just walks in the wall while walking back. It's funny because being an avid video game player, that's what lag looks like. That's what the scabs do in fucking Tarkov. They'll turn and walk backwards, but they'll stare at you with a gun, and then they'll turn in another direction and start walking in that direction. And I'm did he see me or not? But so for some reason the AI is super smart. They know when you're aiming at them. Across the map, I'll look at some dude on a fucking rooftop, and I'll be with my pistol, and then I'll see him look at me, and I'm oh no, and then I'll see he starts firing. I start seeing his muzzle flashes, start hearing bullets around me. I was no, this is stupid. Fuck you. You don't know I'm here. But no, they know when you're aiming at them.
It sounds like a bad AI.
It is a bad AI. The AI is pure AIDS. It's okay though. It's funny.
It's okay, but it's pure AIDS.
It's fun. Now the game only costs $40 though, instead of the $200 I paid for it forever ago.
Okay. So the Georgia gun store in Gainesville. Gaines. Had no request for a bump stock, an accessory that transforms the semi-automatic rifle into a weapon capable of firing hundreds of rounds a minute. But following Sunday's mass shooting in Vegas, the shops fielded several calls from customers asking about the product. The store's owner, Kelly Weeks, said several distributors were out of stock when she called them seeking supplies. Anybody that wants to get them is probably just worried that they're going to be banned, she said. Authorities say shooter Stephen Paddock had 12 rifles outfitted with bump stocks among the arsenal of weapons in his hotel room, and the audio of the attack suggested he used weapons with rapid-fire capabilities. They do sell a bit, but it's very minimal, said C.J. Kalesa, an employee at Birmingham Pistol Wholesale in Trustville, Alabama. Very trusting. We usually sell 10 or so a year. Calais said the store began receiving calls from customers about bump stocks on Tuesday. Slidefire, a leading bump stock manufacturer, has sold out. Customers can sign up to be notified when more bump stocks become available. We've decided to temporarily suspend taking new orders to provide best service for those already placed. I guess this is a video, but you can see roll the video.
Bump stock.
2.25 centuries ago, a bunch of amazing guys lived here.
Oh, for God's sakes.
They had the work of freedom on their minds.
Oh, for God's
Brave,
sakes.
Wise, gallant men. They knew their signatures on that Declaration of Independence told everybody that they were willing to die for it.
Oh, for fuck's
sake.
sake.
Put on parchment what our founding fathers felt deep in their hearts. The long, silent soul of liberty rose up from a common dream
the whole
to
gun,
become
I think, is going to pop in and out.
every man's birthright.
Yeah, so that's what it is. As the gun moves with the recoil, it continues to hit the trigger.
Ah, interesting.
So it literally just bounces inside of the fucking stock. That makes it fully automatic, but that also makes it like fairly impossible to control.
One enemy
Yeah.
not defeat.
It's
But,
not.
I mean, it worked. It's effective for when you need to shoot 10 masked people.
So your presence here, now, today, is an act of reverence. Of all
I mean, you can
man's
see
works
how he's
beneath the
bouncing
heavens,
around with it.
Yeah.
There's no
none shines
accuracy.
brighter than our Constitution.
I love how he has the scope up, but I'm like, dude,
I
that
think
scope's bouncing
Jefferson,
around. There's no way you're
Paine,
shooting anywhere.
Adams, Madison,
Like
Mason,
the whole point of a stock is just non-existent there
Yeah.
because it doesn't
right
stop
now
the gun
at
from
us.
doing anything.
God, this
They
fucking
understand
bullshit ass
what we're trying
patriotism to the max
We strive
crap.
to do.
I'm incredibly annoyed.
I think a lot of people didn't buy it because they're like me. They're like, that totally kills the point of a stock. And the thing is, like, yeah, I assume you have to have training, like, hold your finger in a certain place, because that's all it is he pulls the trigger and you gotta hold your finger there. It's just weird, because the gun will just continue to bounce into your finger. It takes a while, I'm sure, to get to working right, because, like, I don't know, that just doesn't looks weird.
Anyways, so I guess, so they probably did a bump stocks because they look like normal stocks.
Well, that one doesn't really, like, most of these bump stocks don't really look like normal stocks. Yeah, but, like, yeah. I guess you just hold your finger there and it'll just bounce as you shoot.
Anyway, so on Wednesday, the comments on the Facebook page for Slidefire were split between critics who blamed the company for the massacre
It's not the company's fault!
and customers who said they plan to buy more bump stocks. Several other online retailers also list the items as being out of stock. Stocks in companies that makes guns have risen sharply on news of the Vegas shooting. Isn't that kind of terrible? That whenever a mass shooting happens, gun stocks price rises?
Not really. I
don't know.
It's only,
It
it's
just
only
says
a direct
something. It just-
correlation of supply and
I
demand.
know, but it just says something about the American people. Is that when a tragedy happens...
It's not that. They're worried about guns getting taken away, so they buy more.
Yeah, but they're idiots.
Doesn't matter.
I don't know.
That's how supply and demand works. They're all of a sudden because of
But they're
demand.
fucking idiots. They're never gonna
matter.
ban fucking guns.
They might. They try really hard.
There's precedent in the Supreme Court. They couldn't do it. The Supreme Court has ruled that due to the interpretation of the Second Amendment, that I think it's literally because of a comma or the lack thereof. Like literally, you pull up the Second Amendment. It's like, you know, the American people have the right to bear arms. You know, in relating, I forget the exact
Something
terms.
about freestanding militia.
Yeah, in regards to like a well-regulated militia, but supposedly because there is like a comma or there's a lack of comma, that it makes it so that where the American people can bear arms while being outside of a well-regulated militia. It's literally, there was an argument over a freaking comma that determined this.
Well, yeah,
because I think there is a comma. Or can you put up the Second Amendment so that way I can stop questioning my memory of it. Yeah, see, that's what it is.
Being necessary to fight Syria for sake. The right of the people to keep and bear arms.
So it's because literally...
It's because there's a bunch
because there's a couple commas in there. That's what determines it.
Being necessary for sake. It's because... It's
probably because this section here,
yeah. The right of the people to keep and bear
the thing is,
shall not be infringed.
I don't know, in English...
So, it like this, the way it is, I would interpret it as the people have the right to bear arms, and then
no, because like in English...
There's the full...
Well, no, like in English, normally, like if you have
It's better explained in the actual full amendment. Where is the full amendment at?
Right, they're there.
Oh, wait. I can't even read that. Security of free state. People, arms shall not be infringed.
See, like, so, I guess it's... See, like, that middle statement in between the two commas being necessary for the security of a free state. Mm-hmm. I'm not sure that's the issue. Because that's a descriptive phrase, that's a descriptive statement.
And that's talking about state militias. But then, like, there's a comma which separates statements and separates it's a sentence separator, and then it says the people. Well, no, the people have the right.
No. The militia is a description. The two commas in between being necessary to the security of a free state is a description of what a militia is. Mm-hmm. But if it was out that, it'd be a well-regulated militia. The right of the people to keep and bear arms should not be infringed. Yeah. As if to say that. That within a militia the right to bear arms shall not be infringed to the people, but I think people have taken that middle descriptive
I think it's fine.
Phrase
we have
out
the
of
right
context.
To bear arms. It's like one of the biggest things that exist in America. It's fine.
I should say free speech should be the biggest thing that should exist in America. Many countries don't have...
of the biggest. I didn't say the biggest. So one of them.
I'm saying free speech is the biggest. God damn it!
I know free speech is probably the biggest, and the second. It's in order too. Number one is free speech. Second is fucking guns.
And then you have not harboring soldiers somewhere at number 8.
Yep, that's never been really a big deal.
It was during the revolution.
Because they came in and they're like, you have to support our soldiers. There's nothing you can do about it. That's why it was an issue. They're like, we don't like that. And it's really never been a problem since then. Probably because it's part of the Constitution. Like, there's also no reason to try it. We have the Army, and the Army has enough money. Dear God, they have enough money to...
They recently just got approved for $50 billion more. Don't you just love it?
We're out of money in FEMA. No, and military can get $50
billion. Yeah, exactly. Oh, you know what? $50 billion could fund a couple years of education for everybody.
Let's cut education.
I think it's only like $8 billion a year could fund college education for the American people.
The free college education, the free 2-year college or whatever.
Free 2-year and trade college.
That's actually really cheap.
I know. So why won't Congress approve the money?
Because then we'd be too socialist. Nobody likes the government taking
money. The socialism.
I love Mr. Tennis to death, but he really hates the government's redistribution of wealth. And I'm like, he's like, why should I have to pay for stuff, whenever I worked for it and other people did? I was like, well, you're kind of right there, but I feel like to be in a better place as a society in general.
To be in a modern society, or any society, really.
Well, no. You can't say any society.
Well, except for anarchist, but fuck anarchist.
Yeah, no. But anyway. No. But I mean, like, redistribution of wealth is a nice thing. I mean, that's what the taxes should be done. Should be redistributed correctly. But
correctly is opinion.
Correctly is opinion, but I mean, if you make more, you should be taxed more.
Yeah, if you make more, you should be taxed more. And they should
at least to a certain point.
And they should close the tax loopholes that allow rich people to get out of paying their taxes.
That's all.
Because that's one of the big things that, you got all these wealthy people on Wall Street making all this money, and supposedly they're supposed to be paying like 35% in taxes. And yes, everybody likes to bring out, we pay the highest taxes in the world. That is bullshit. That's a lie. They're lying to you.
Doesn't Norway pay the highest taxes? Or like some of those European countries pay like stupidly high taxes? I think my friend said from Germany or whatever. Or no, one of the like Eastern European countries says he pays a lot in taxes, because he makes he says he pays 50%. in taxes. He gets taxed 50%. But he says, however, all of that goes to everything, and because he gets paid like $50,000 a year on his like IT job stuff. He's like, but they take 50%. I was like, that sucks. He's like, well, it goes into everything. It goes into supporting the community. It's really not a bad gig. And like, I get health care. Everybody gets health care. I mean, like,
and the thing is that we're taxed in levels. So only a certain amount of money over the line is taxed at 35%. And then as your money gets less, you get taxed less. So you make $1 million. Well, like, 500,000 that's taxed 35%, and the rest is taxed as a decreasing rate. I believe that's how that works. But I mean, if we end the tax loopholes, we will generate billions, tens of billions, hundreds of billions possibly, in additional revenue for the government. By closing loopholes, closing things that shouldn't exist, but due to how the tax code is written, allow that to happen.
Just donate a good portion of your money to charity. All of a sudden you don't have to pay taxes. Woo!
Well, some portion. But or, force American companies to bring their money home. Or tax them on, holdings outside of your country.
Yeah.
There's things that can be done, but the political will to do it is never there.
Oh wow, Walmart pulled bump stocks from its website. Nifty.
Yeah, Walmart's on top of things a lot of the times. Anyways, I'm just skipping this. Yes, they're looking at banning them or restricting them heavily.
Was it the Daily Mail you said?
Yeah, the Daily Mail.
Weird.
You might need to clarify with the Daily Mail. There it is. Yeah. Oh no, that's saying you're screaming.
All the shit. Called in 2 noise complaints about loud country music coming from the hotel room below the night before his rampage. I'm angry at country music! Camel 100,000 an hour in video poker with constant.
Millionaire Stephen Paddock was a regular at retiree's $3.50 lunch, but barely spoke a word to anybody. And asked to kick for the rest of the day.
He drove Las Vegas commit mass murder. What is that?
I don't know. Like, the Daily Mail has all kinds of like just spammy shit about this.
What is the name of Stephen Paddock, right?
You see him with PH. I always hate that. Like, it's Stefan. But then people are like, no, it's Steven. And I'm like, it's a PH. That makes an F sound. It's always annoyed me.
There we go. 2 days ago. This is it.
The heck are they
That's a regular stock right there. This one might have been the only one with a bump stock. I can't tell.
Well, they said there's 6 with a bump stock.
I know. That's not a bump stock right there. That's a regular buffer 2 and regular stock.
Why are they circling that? Leak photo shakes. Scroll down.
Yeah, I saw that too myself.
What is it? There's a note on the table. Well, it appears to be, but there's no note. Because they said there wasn't a suicide note.
Yeah, because there's like a...
It's probably just like your
and then there's that. Because I pointed all this stuff out.
Yeah, that's probably just like your stereotypical like hotel pad.
That
definitely looks like a bump stock.
Yeah, that one's a bump stock. That one has the bump stock. You can't tell.
Can't really tell with the others.
No. They're in the weird chair 1690. Here's the same bump
another
stock
picture.
one.
The same.
See that one? I don't think that one has a bump stock still.
I don't know. It kind of looks like it could be. Because it looks like the same as that right there.
Yeah, but it would have the weird plastic thing that goes over.
Maybe, but it is kind of dark there, and the picture's not the greatest.
Yeah. But I'm still saying, like, you don't see the weird little cup formation thing. It does look similar.
Maybe it's only on one. No, it's lying on the same side. So I don't know. Looks similar.
Yeah. Oh, that's new.
That's new. I guess that's the hotel room that they busted through. There's the gunshots from when he was firing through, or they were firing back. And there's another gun right there.
Oh, right there. Oh, that is. And that's, like I said, those are all sniper scopes fitted to these, which, when you're bump stock firing, what's the point of a scope?
I don't know. They had it in the promotional video. And there's I guess the cart that he had the camera.
Bishop first time inside Paris, so showing the breeze left when the SWAT teams blew open the door.
The people in the door
hit a camera he used to spy on the hallway.
Interesting. I mean, yeah,
those are weird double doors. It's interesting.
Well, they're fancy hotel rooms.
fucking hit it. Camera. There's a wire right there.
So it was just wired.
Yeah.
Scroll down more. And there's the food cart. What does it say about that? To the right of the doors was a service cart covered with empty plates. Paddock had set up another camera to the cart to watch the hall. Third camera in the...
How did he get a food
cart?
Look,
there's a wire. Is that a wire, you think? And there's a wire running along there? He might have. He did order room service. That's what they said, is that he did order room service.
That's what I'm saying. How did he get a cart?
What do you mean? I mean,
how did he get a cart?
They delivered the food on the cart, and
this is what I'm saying. This dude just fucking Mission Impossible, just stole somebody's cart, went upstairs.
It's probably his cart.
But didn't you say he didn't order room?
No, he did. That's what I'm saying. He did order room service.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. It's probably his cart. Footage is being examined by the FBI, so he was recording it apparently.
A third camera in the room films the shooter.
So he had a camera in the room, the camera at the door, so it is and a camera on the cart. So he recorded it.
Yeah, he recorded himself and he recorded the outside. I guess, like I said, he recorded the outside because maybe going to make a stand in the shitty hallway.
Maybe.
Yeah, that's what he had. Because that's what I'm saying.
So let's see, 23 firearms included: an AK, an AR-15 type gun, and a handgun. So apparently, bringing
multiple AR-15s. So that's multiple ARs.
So apparently, he had 47 guns in 3 different locations.
Yeah. Okay, rifles, shotguns, handguns, bought from Nevada, Texas, Utah, and California, all have been bought legally over the course of more than 20 years. Video is showing debris strewn outside the shooter's hotel room from when the SWAT team blew the doors off the front door. Okay, that was redundant with the Daily Mail. Video shows bullet holes piercing the left side of the suite's double doors, confirming reports that Paddock shot at officers as they tried to break into there. However, most of the door is knocked down from the SWAT team's forceful but necessary entrance. But that doesn't line up correctly with the timeline we were given just a minute ago. He didn't shoot at police officers.
No, he did.
That's not what the timeline said. The timeline said he shot at the security guard and shot the security guard, but it didn't say he shot at the police. The timeline said something completely different.
Well,
the timeline said those bullet holes are obviously there. And that does look like there was a standoff outside the door, which there would be, which is what he was prepared for.
Well, I mean, clearly he shot out of the door.
Yeah, I guess. But either way, he still, before they even breached the room, supposedly he had shot himself and the gunshots had stopped.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I'm saying. Is either way.
I don't know. It's a Daily Mail. They're full of crap.
Used to warn Lombardo and police were outside. The cameras outside the room were connected to a tablet which streamed live footage of the hallway, so it was streamed live.
Well, streaming's for that. They just means it was showing it.
Yeah. Live. To a tablet, though. So then that would mean they were still wireless, even though there was that wire inside.
No, let's see. Here's the video. Or picture.
It's a picture of everything.
Yeah.
This is where he was in. 2 bedrooms had adjoining doors. This is the good bedroom. This is the one where he shot out that window, and then this is the secondary.
And the concert at 1,000.
Yeah, so this is the main room where they probably entered. He's got the fucking suite. Hired two adjoining.
See, there were stairs right there, so I guess that was his escape plan.
Yeah.
Which is why he specifically had this room.
Maybe, but I figured this would be on either side. It's interesting though. This room holds no really value. I guess he could have moved into this room and popped this door and popped all these dudes over here. So in my mind, that's what I would have done in that situation.
Nice.
As I have to speak as if I would do it. Yeah. Well, I guess all the way.
Yeah.
There's the window where he was. Yeah, no, that's an entire, the entire windows broke out.
And then I guess there's bullet holes, I think, down there?
What? Towards the bottom?
Yeah.
Those? No, I think it's just wood. I think it's a piece of plywood. Something. Can't tell. That's another weird piece of glass. Glass is fucking weird because it's also tinted with fucking metal. Stupid whatever. Oh, that's interesting. And this is the thing. 1,100 feet. There you go. Apparently.
I don't think they have the measurements right. Most floor is generally considered 10 feet.
Yeah, but there might be like a weird inner part down here, like this, like where all that part is. That might all still be the first floor. Like how they might have a huge fucking.
But then wouldn't that make it even higher if that was considered the first floor?
That's true too.
I don't know.
This is definitely a really good picture.
And that's definitely a bump stock.
That one I think has.
That's a much better picture.
Yeah, I don't see the bump stock on this one. Unless it's like wrapped around the other side.
I don't know.
Because it doesn't. I don't see the plastic.
Yeah.
It's just that's just the buffer tube right there. Because see, this is like the buffer tube and everything's obviously covered. Like it's the head, the trigger guard, and everything's covered. But this is just a regular. Yeah, it's just a regular pistol grip. This one's got the horizontal choke on it too. This is like I said, the DMR setup, but it's got a fucking EOTech. This is the close range. This is what he was going to use if they came into the room. I'm fairly certain this is what he would have used. Because this is set up for long-range shooting with the bipod, and this has got another long-range scope. But this is where all the ammo was.
Let's see, so scroll down because it actually talks about it. So, right there.
Closing birds, the 24 hours super pack. So, the open on the left is a bump stock and make it fully automatic. A scope for actually, that's not a scope. That's not a scope!
Well, these people don't know.
I know. And an oversized magazine to hold more. Yeah, that is a 60-round mag. That's what I was saying. Oversized magazine to hold more ammunition. The weapon on the right has markings indicating it was made by Daniel Defense, a bipod for stability and a telescopic lens. It's the Daniel Defense is the receiver manufacturer. I don't think it's actually no, it's that rail. That's that Daniel Defense rail system right there. I can tell that.
What's more? Any more pictures?
This is 48. Should I click that? Is that it?
Yeah, down at the bottom.
Boston 25. That's weird.
I guess that's probably good. This isn't those pictures.
People, life is beautiful. Pictures.
Goodness.
Yeah, there wasn't. There's no more.
Scroll down more.
Shit. Oh my god, I fucking reset it all the way to the top. AIDS. Oh, now it's checking that. Guns down here.
Okay, so. Okay, whatever. This is
whatever. It's basically it. There's videos.
Anyways, let's move on to.
Watch the full video. So that was outside. That was the other room right there that he had. Mm-hmm. So there's this room which they blew into, and then that room.
Yeah, the one on the left that it was just showing was the main entrance, and then the one on the right was the entrance to the bedroom. Anyways, okay.
Only on Boston 5. Exclusive photo of Las Vegas shooters.
So let's get on with Puerto Rico.
Let's get on with some other news that nobody. I mean, yeah.
There's the world news to cover.
Yeah, but guess.
The world keeps spinning, even though Vegas stopped for a day.
Is that how that works?
Mm-hmm.
Was something bitching about? Sign up for the latest E-Blast! How about no? Change the topic here to that there. World news.
News.
Okay.
World noise.
Yep.
I believe this is yours.
Nah, it's Kenneth's. Puerto Rico is running out of money. Okay. Puerto Rico faces a government shutdown on October 31st, including halting its hurricane recovery if Congress doesn't provide billions in emergency funds, says Treasury Secretary Raul Maldonado. There we go. There. The U.S.
Raul Maldonado.
Raul Maldonado. Doesn't matter. The U.S. Commonwealth's bankrupt government is burning through the $1.6 billion it had on hand before Hurricane Maria ravaged the island, destroying decaying infrastructure and killing 34 people. With widespread damage to telecommunication systems and the electricity grid, Maldonado doesn't expect to begin collecting sales tax for at least another month, he said Wednesday. I don't have any collections, and we are spending a lot of money providing direct assistance for the emergency, he said in an interview in San Juan. Without the assistance from Congress, Puerto Rico's government will not be able to operate next month. While attention is focused on the Commonwealth's staggering $74 billion debt, Puerto Rico faces a more immediate crisis in the wake of the storm. It's running short of money for fuel, salaries for recovery workers, and food aid. Meanwhile, only 8.6% of customers have electricity. Mobile phone service is sharply curtailed, and many mountainous rural areas remain inaccessible. You have conservatively over 100,000 homes that are destroyed here, Governor Ricardo Rossello said in an interview Wednesday. Essentially, you're looking at zero revenue for the next couple months, he said. While you have zero revenue, you will still have expenditures, plus emergency expenditures. That means the money is going to run out very quickly. Maldonado said that he has requested between $6 billion and $8 billion in aid from Congress to keep the government running a few months. The treasurer said he has set aside funds to make payroll and pension payments in October, but if Congress fails to act, he said the island is now facing a total shutdown on November 1st that would curtail essential services and distribution of aid. Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell said in a press statement that the Senate stands by ready to help. House Speaker Paul Ryan's office didn't respond to a request to discuss the October 31st run dry date. Fuck me. Nancy Pelosi, yay, the Democratic House Minority Leader, said earlier Wednesday that the Treasury Department should extend a loan to help Puerto Rico in the short term. Tens of billions more will be needed for long-term recovery efforts in Washington. The Trump administration is finalizing a $29 billion disaster aid request covering a series of major storms in the U.S., but Puerto Rico's control board, created by the law that allowed the Commonwealth to enter bankruptcy, has said Maria may have caused as much as $95 billion in damages, more than the island's annual gross domestic product. The federally appointed board, which has broad oversight over the island's finances, requested for immediate aid Tuesday, and a letter the panel sent congressional leaders and officials asked the federal government to make low-interest loans available to ease the impending liquidity crisis. Failure to provide the greatest amount of federal aid and emergency liquidity program will be potentially ruinous, Chairman Jose Carreon wrote. We must do all that we can to help Puerto Rico avert a tragedy of historic proportions. The panel also asked the federal government waive cost-sharing limits, disaster spending caps, and grants for long-term relief. If Congress doesn't act, Maldonado said it will be a disaster.
Another disaster, but tragic.
It'll be a people-created disaster. Oops.
Yeah, I can just spacebar it. I think Fox actually works with spacebar.
How does spacebar do?
Scroll down.
Is that really?
Mm-hmm. You didn't know that?
No.
Well, if you...
Page up, page down does.
Yeah. Well, if you're getting a drink, can you get me that Sprite? Thank you. Bethany Frankel sends 10 planes to Puerto Rico filled with hurricane relief supplies.
Yeah, but is anybody going to be able to transport it from the planes anywhere?
I'm assuming so.
That's the issue.
If she's able to send it there, I'm assuming they can get it around, because now I guess people are coming back. I know we covered last week how they were having difficulty getting truck drivers there.
I think they still have problems.
Oh, I'm sure they still have problems, yes.
Oh God, are you there? It looks really, really bad.
Oh. Yeah, no, that chair's going to break.
Yep.
This isn't going to be a good time when that happens.
That'll be fine. I'll be alright. I've fallen on my ass before, it's not a big deal.
Yeah. The Real Housewives of New York City star Bethany Frankel has chartered 10 planes to Puerto Rico after the U.S. territory was ravaged by Hurricane Maria. Frankel, who is recovering from surgery to remove skin cancer below her eye, traveled to the island to offer aid to the hurricane victims, and she shows a picture. I mean, just look at that picture.
That looks horrible.
That looks, yeah, absolutely dreadful.
It does.
I mean, it looks like a city that was bombed or something, or was in a war.
Yeah.
It reminds me of Syria.
Well, it doesn't look as bad, but just with all the wires and shit, it looks pretty bad.
It reminds me of Iraq.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yep. This is a forgotten island, Frankel told people. People have been living on the roofs for 13 days. It's like nothing I've ever seen. People's entire homes and cars are immersed in mud. The likes I've never seen. The planes are reportedly filled with diapers, non-perishable foods, water, gift cards, and medical supplies. Frankel's charity Be Strong is on the way to raising $1 million for Puerto Rico, people reported. This is a picture of a family who's suffered extreme water damage with nothing left but the roof. The planes were utilized to take sick and wounded women and children to the United States for treatment, according to the outlet. The reality star visited towns outside San Juan and described the area as a war zone. There's no color on the island. Every palm tree is rooted. This bitch hit every inch of the island.
That's funny.
The low death toll is only counting what happened when it hit, but a storm happens more gradually than a hurricane. And now is when people are dying. They're starving. They're thirsty. They can't communicate. They can't bathe themselves. They wash their babies in laundry and street water. It is a war zone. I do not play the blame game, but the 73 towns of Puerto Rico need to be methodically mapped out and visited, and the relief needs to be organized, delegated, and executed. Franco was in Mexico last week helping victims who were devastated by the 7.1 magnitude earthquake. So she's just going around helping people. That's good.
That's good. And surprising for a reality TV star.
Mm-hmm.
Weird.
Well, it makes her look good. And she is running a charity.
Mm-hmm.
But,
yeah.
So, this
charity
is
I've never heard of
news. I've never heard of her either, but I don't watch
but obviously,
Real Housewives of New York City.
Well, no, but I mean, I've never heard of her charity, but shit, at this point, I would say her charity does more than the Red Cross has been doing for a lot of people. I mean, she's there, and flying in all this stuff, and flying shit out. She's there, boots on the ground, herself, apparently.
Mm-hmm. There's also 14,000 DOD members.
Huh?
There's 14,000 DOD members.
Department of Defense?
Mm-hmm.
In what?
In Puerto Rico. Helping. Of course, that could be anybody in the DOD.
Yeah.
But there's 14,000 people from the DOD.
Probably military.
Of course, military. Just random branches, I'm sure.
This is exactly what the National Guard is for. I would assume it's them.
I would assume it's the Navy.
I mean, them too, but no. This is the National Guard's supposed to. The National Guard is who went in and helped Haiti, I believe. Yeah. During the problems years ago where Haiti was buckled completely. Yeah.
Remember when they had the devastating earthquakes that wiped out.
Yep. And this is, an American territory.
Yeah, with American citizens.
Yep. And that's exactly what the National Guard is for and reserves are for. Hopefully it's all them. I don't know, I can always ask my friend if his friends are out there or whatever.
Why would they be in the National Guard in Haiti?
Huh?
I said, why would they be the National Guard in Haiti?
Why would they bring it into Haiti?
Yeah.
Because it's closest and that's what they do. They do relief efforts for the U.S. mainly. They do stuff mainly nearest the soil or on the soil. I mean, they also do... That's who ran around and pulled people out of work and stuff. Mm-hmm. That's what they're there to do. They're disaster relief. That's one of their biggest jobs. Mm. Sometimes they go active duty, though, and get shipped off to fucking Iraq and whatever. But normally National Guard is for the nation or whatever.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's the National Guard.
Yeah.
Of course, that's what they say the Army's supposed to be.
Well, so the National Guard is the reserve forces.
Yeah.
There's National Guard, the Army, there's the Navy, there's the Marines, there's all sorts.
There's a trillion branches.
I would say there's a trillion branches. God knows the guys in the Air Force. Always the jokes about the Air Force people is they're always in air conditioning that don't really do anything.
I actually remember. It's kind of funny. I talked from a guy who was in the Air Force, who was in the Air Force for a long time, and he's like, and I asked him about that because I was like, so I've heard y'all are having steak and lobster, and he's like, completely true. We had everything, and we always got the best of everything, and we were the post service, so we always got letters and shit. We could do pretty much whatever we want. We had the best of everything because we were the one that delivered it and shit. So it's completely true.
Yeah, the mail flies in on helicopters or whatever, in when you're in the middle of the fucking ocean or whatever on air truck carriers. Yeah, it flies in.
Yeah, so they're like, yep. Well, the Army guys are dealing with MREs or whatever. Yeah, no, we have steak.
And you're just
I'm glad that's been confirmed.
I wouldn't doubt it, because I've heard it being bitched about by so many people. It's like one of those things you just hear about from so many people. From different branches, they all say the same thing, then you know. All I ever heard was the stories about how they'd go and steal their air conditioning units and shit because they fucking hated them. Like, fuck those guys. They put in a requisition to get another one the next day anyway. So
they're the ones delivering it, so you're damn right.
Our guys just went over there and stole it. And then, our patrol sergeant goes, "Where did you get that?" We found it.
And it's like, that asset tag says it's the Air Force.
Rips off asset tag. What asset tag? Come on, sergeant.
If I ever join a branch, it's going to be the Air Force.
Yeah. That's what I wanted to do. I was going to go to the Air Force and the Navy for IT stuff. Also because I think their IT departments, like their counterterrorist forces or whatever, would be much better than Army's. Army IT is like, plug this radar dish in.
Pretty much. And welcome to fucking Iraq. It's a war zone. Yeah. Versus the Air Force. He's like, so we're here in Maine,
And you want to plug in this? You want to play a flight simulator? You're actually piloting a drone, though. Be very careful. Don't hit that button.
You don't hit that button. Hit that one. You can hit that one, but that'll jump a bomb.
You do that one, but only if you're clear. What's that red light? It means we're clear. Push the red button.
Congratulations, you just bombed a village.
Congratulations. I think that was Osama bin Laden. Cool.
Anyways.
But yeah, terrible. All right. 112 degrees with no water. Puerto Rican hospitals battle life and death daily. That's so weird. Those weird pop-out tents. Mm-hmm. It's like a war zone type setup.
Well, that's where they are. It's like if you read the little blurb below it.
I don't care about reading it. Every day across Puerto Rico, with its shattered power grid, hospitals are waging a life and death battle to keep their patients from getting sicker in the tropical heat. Now, 2 weeks after the storm, about 3/4 of Puerto Rico's hospital remain on emergency power. This creates dangerous conditions for the critically ill patients. You're damn right it does.
I think current conditions, they've restored 6% of the power grid.
Yeah. Which is painstakingly small. At the Pavia Arecibo Hospital, about an hour west of San Juan, Administrator Jose Luis Rodriguez wipes sweat from his worried brow.
Could that be any more of a Spanish name?
For real though. We don't have any air conditioning, he says. We can handle maybe a week, but it's already been 2 weeks, almost. The government calls them indirect deaths. Those who died after the violent storm. Heart attack victims, people on kidney dialysis machines that failed, people who fell off roofs inspecting storm damage. I'm sorry I laughed at that. That's kind of funny. And people killed in auto accidents on highways made more treacherous from Maria's destruction. So far after the storm, we have had 49 dead bodies, says Rodriguez. Earlier this week, the government of Puerto Rico raised the official fatality figure for Hurricane Maria from 16 people to 34. But with unofficial reports like the one from Arecibo, the number is expected to rise. The U.S. Disaster Medical Team, DMAT, expects damage hospital in Puerto Rico, the Federal Agent for Force Protection. And this guy right here. Yep. Oh, really? That's sad. Wow. It's a glass jar. You don't see that much very often.
No.
The fourth floor of the Arecibo Hospital has now been taken over by stocky Midwesterners in khaki pants, black boots, and t-shirts emblazoned with DMAT for Disaster Medical Assistance Team. It's kind of a National Guard for reservist medical workers that falls under the Department of Health and Human Services.
That's interesting.
Chief Medical Officer of this DMAT, currently deployed to Arecibo, is Dr. Melissa Stein. She's normally an urgent care physician at Mercy Hospital in St. Louis. I just played Left 4 Dead. Fucking Mercy Hospital. Anyway, in telling team members coming here, we'll tell them what's going on in an extremely austere environment, she says. No power, no air conditioning, no local water, no local food, no internet, and very limited communication. Hurricane Maria falls on routine. Hurricane Harvey in Houston, where teams stayed in a hotel, and the 2010 Haiti earthquake. Where they created a field hospital in Port-au-Prince and slept outside. Each deployment has its challenges. In the Arecibo Hospital, it was the sweltering 6'4" cardiac unit. Ooh. Especially since you're up that high. That's a bad.
Mm-hmm.
Temperatures up there were as high as 108 degrees and even higher. This was a huge stress on the patients who were quite sick. So we have ended up moving them to these tents where the hospital staff is caring for them, says Dr. Jim Fair, who is on the DMAT team. Lying in the cooling tent is a 77-year-old retired factory worker named Georgina Gonzalez, so I assume it was a lady up there. Had she not been brought here, she might have ended up as an indirect victim of the storm. Very hot, very hot. I was suffocating, she says. When they transferred me here on Sunday, they rescued me from the dragon's mouth.
Very
probably speaking in Spanish. Back on the 4th floor, a distraught woman appears with a shocking story. The hospital, an hour away in the city of Agadilla, she says, has shut down, kicked out the patients, and it smells like decomposing bodies.
What kind of a hospital can do that?
Well, the kind of hospital that probably ran out of emergency power and can't provide services anymore.
I know, but
there's just, in this sort of instance, there's just things that you can't do. You can't. I see what you're saying in a reasonable society, but you have to understand these places have no power. There's some of these places haven't had gasoline probably for the generators.
Diesel, yeah.
And if they run out, they literally can't do anything. You can't, even as a healthcare professional, you can't save people from things that you can't save people from. There's only so much people can do.
I suppose, but it's just disturbing to think is that so many people in that hospital will probably die.
Well, think about how many. Just think about like you said, there's only 6% of power on the grid entirely. That means there's more, way more. And as that chick was saying, she's very right. There's going to be a lot of people that are dying.
Mm-hmm.
Because of starvation or whatever, lack of water,
lack of food, lack of simple basic resources.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't know. This is fucking America. God damn it, we can do shit. Throw money at the problem. That always works.
That's the problem. Is they're not American enough Americans. That's the
thing.
That's literally probably the problem with America. Is that we most of our people don't even know that they're Americans.
True story. Study came out. 64% of Americans don't know that Puerto Ricans are U.S. citizens.
Yep.
So yes, most Americans don't know that. They do now, or they should. They've seen anything about Puerto Rico.
Maybe. Team Commander George Thorpe springs into action. We'll get a strike team there right away, he says. That doesn't sound like a... No, that's not the terminology you want to use for that. We'll get a strike team there. All of a sudden, they just see an explosion a mile away. Looks good.
There's no. I mean, if there's nobody alive, there's nobody to save.
That's a good point. Treasure is racing down the highway. Past utility poles snap like pencils in the fallen arches of a McDonald's. The team roars up to Good Samaritan Hospital in Agadia. 2 heavily armed federal agents enter first, then comes the DMAT expecting orders. They walk down a corridor past bewildered nurses and are ushered into a quiet, orderly office. There is nervous laughter. I am Chief Medical Officer for a National Disaster Medical Assistance Team, Dr. Stein tells the hospital record. We have been told that you need significant... I can tell when we pulled up, the story was somewhat exaggerated. The hospital administrator, Marilyn Morales, listens politely. Our emergency room is in bad condition in terms of the temperature analysis. If you can install something next to the that would be excellent with physicians, medications, and supplies. As it turns out, both Arecibo and Agadia hospitals are in the same boat. There's no air conditioning. The emergency generators need maintenance, and patients and staff
Okay, so that person who was saying that was fucking really overblowing it.
Yeah. After Torreson promises to request some federal help, the team files back out on the side.
Okay, that's good. It's good that what I thought was happening was not happening.
All right, settle back up. Get your packs, she says, adding with a smile. This is not the hospital of the Walking Dead, which is what's been described. Jesus Christ.
Gotta love that whole doctor mentality.
Doctor super military mentality, though. It's just
she's just what are you? Let's go.
So here's a good example of what happens after a traumatic event. There's no communication, rumors fly, and people worry about their hospitals. Yep. And there you go, that's it.
Well, God, these hospitals need power. They need resources. Fucking, where's the helicopters? Fly it in.
I thought they had been. I don't know.
They probably have been. I know, but I mean, they just need more.
I love how it looks like Trump's in a decent neighborhood.
Yeah, that house is pretty damn decent.
Yep.
And so is that little property right there. That looks nice.
That's what I'm saying. What?
Clearly he's in a nice place.
Mm-hmm.
I guess they wouldn't send the president to some place that was dangerous.
Yeah, I suppose not.
I kind of wonder if he is an interpreter. Or whether these people speak English. Because I
would assume that military man next to him would be an interpreter, the young man.
Probably.
Yeah.
Because I mean, we read the statistics. It's like what, 10 to 15% of Puerto Ricans speak English.
Yeah, not much. Yeah, these are all like, most of these are younger looking individuals.
Yeah, most of these are young people.
They look like they're wearing a lot of westernized clothing and shit.
I mean, it's Puerto Rico. It's not freaking Africa.
I know, but it's like saying Mexico, you know. It's like, alright. It's like saying hardcore Mexicans in Bay City don't, wear American clothing. Because they don't. I mean, do you want to challenge me on that? I'll put it how many times people wore just fucking Hispanic soccer jerseys just every fucking day.
Well, you have me there.
And then on top of that,
they have Walmarts here.
Do they have Walmarts there? We have Walmarts here. What's the excuse? Where do they like? I don't even know where they get clothes from. It's like from a flea market.
They have stores.
No, not them. I'm talking about here. The fuck?
It's an island. They clearly have nothing.
They definitely don't got shit now.
I don't shit now, but yeah.
I love how there's just that one board over that window. I saw people doing something like that here, and I just laughed at them.
Yeah, like my windows are fully boarded up.
Yeah,
they're still up
because there's like darkness. Hello, darkness, Violet.
I was like, Dad, we're not taking mine down. We're leaving it up. It's nice and dark here. It's so nice to wake up. And it's like darkness.
Yeah, that's how I feel in that room. I'm just like, what time is it? It's always dark o'clock, baby. And then like my door's open.
Actually, we haven't taken them down from any of the windows.
Huh?
We haven't taken them down from any of the windows. We're just leaving them up. We're just like, I think me and my dad are just like, fuck it. like for one of our living room window, we boarded up. My dad just put tape around, for like aluminum tape around the board. I'm like, okay.
Why did you put aluminum tape around the board?
Because the actual window was actually just damaged at the top. So you just put it all around it to seal it up. And I'm like,
supposedly there was supposed to be a FEMA guy that was supposed to come over today, like tonight. There's not much damage other than like floor, that wood over there, all that came up, that wood by the door, by water and stuff like that. Other than that, there's nothing really. I feel like there's shingles. I feel like there's something wrong with the roof though, because when I went outside and I looked at it, I was pointing out to my mom like, "Hey, your roof was replaced not too long ago." Because I remember like our tree branch fell through our fucking roof, so it was replaced not too long ago. However, there were like shingles out of place, like horribly out of place. And I could also see dips in the roof, and I'm like, What are
you concerned about that?
So I'm like, claim it. But they're not leaking anywhere as far as I know.
Oh, that's nice. No, under my name it shows my title.
Yeah, you did it, I guess.
It gets it from Google, I believe.
Wow. What are you saying wow for, Dakota? How long ago was that?
I wish you give timestamps for this shit.
If I had better Twitch TV extension like I'm supposed to, I think of timestamps. It also preloads chat, so before you get into somebody's Twitch live stream, you can see like what people have been saying. It's nifty. It's a good tool. Also, you could use like you used to have integrations before Twitch, like before. Oh yeah, reminds me. I still don't have any fucking. I never made a sticker or never made like a.
Yeah, the emotes.
The emote. Yeah, so the emote system. Better Twitch
okay, you still owe me something, or I still need to get something from you. Don't know what yet. Well, I'll think about it.
I don't think Highkick's even here. Highkick's been like in and out.
I don't know. Whatever.
Highkick wants to co-stream on Mixer though. Whenever we do the 24-hour thing, I'm like, oh my god, you and Mixer. I'm like, yeah, I'm good. Fuck Mixer.
Yeah.
Anyway,
so FEMA removes statistics about drinking water access and electricity in Puerto Rico from its website. I don't know why they would do that, but it is a Trump administration, so nothing's out of the ordinary.
Nothing is safe.
As of Wednesday, half of Puerto Ricans have access to drinking water, and 5% of the island has electricity. So even less, only 5%. 2 weeks later, so yeah, they're definitely going to be without full electricity for months.
I would say even almost a year, probably at that rate.
I don't know. Their electricity company said they'd be out for like 6 months.
Yeah.
So we'll see. According to statistics published by FEMA on its webpage documenting the federal response to Hurricane Maria. Let's click on that link and see what it shows. So it just shows how to bring item, open search, covering children, fraud and price gouging. Okay, nothing. By Wednesday morning, both of those key metrics are no longer on the webpage. FEMA spokesperson William Boer noted that both measurements are still being reported on a website maintained by the Office of Puerto Rican Governor Ricardo Rossello. Status PR, let's see that. Oh, that's interesting. Gasolineros, 77.9%. Supermarketos, 79.16%. AE, I guess electricity, which is 9.2%. So it's improved quite rapidly from whenever this story came out. Cell phone services, 40. Oh no, that's landline. Yeah, because Antena Cellular is wireless. Cellular towers, 400 out of 1600. Refugios, 132. Refugiaves. I guess pet refuges, hospitals. This is shelters.
This is shelters.
With people in shelters, and that's pets in shelters. Mm-hmm. And then it's hospitals that are
64 hospitals are, I guess, active.
How many
dialysis centers?
Yeah, dialysis centers. And then
14 pharmacies.
Pharmacies, yeah. And then there's our ports.
75% of the ports back. I don't even know what that means.
I don't know. Banks are working at 50% capacity.
Cooperatives.
I don't know.
ATMs for me.
ATMs, 29 ATMs. Diesel, I guess, has the current diesel levels.
Oh, it's
reported by that specific company. Barrels of diesel and gasoline.
Yeah.
Commercials por Sidel Pan.
I don't know what that means.
I don't know either. I know, like, some nations, like, people use cell phones as credit cards. So I don't know. It's buses, I would assume. And hey, they got you got USPS because it's America.
90% is working.
Actually, I think that's incorrect. That USPS. Latest reports. Actually, I think it's within the story that says that all federal post offices are functioning. I guess that's close enough to all.
Oh, yeah.
Water access at 54.2%, and I guess air access is at 100%. With all the so that's really interesting. That is very smart. People can see.
Well, the world can see it. People in Puerto Rico can't see it.
Well,
because it's online.
About 13% of people who have cell phones can probably see it.
That's not a lot of people.
That's not a lot, no. But it's good to know. I mean, this is literally government in action. Yeah. You know, you get to see live updates of your government of how, as they fix things. That's good information. I've never seen another government do that. Have you?
Not even Houston, and we mainly had internet and stuff down
here. Yeah, we had cell service.
Shit, yeah, that was good. Except for your little.
I guess it makes sense because there's really nothing to report on because no major services really ever went out.
Well, I don't know. No, a large portion of Houston was underwater.
Yeah, underwater, but
fucking Wharton was 60% underwater.
Yeah, and the government's actually buying up homes in Wharton.
Oh yeah, so
I think they're buying up a couple homes, not like many, but a couple.
A couple's too, or a few. Just say a few.
I'm gonna say a handful, but less than a lot.
That's not a lot. I mean,
could be two handfuls.
You said a handful. I'm just like,
okay, a few handfuls there.
There you go. It better be everything like on the other side of the levee, all the shit town, the fucking crack houses and stuff. I mean, sure, they're a bunch of crackhead druggies, but they deserve an okay life to do drugs in.
It's like when Futurama does. They give somebody $300, and he's like, and then the crack addict gets it, and he's like, no more cheap crack houses for me. And then he goes to the extensive. Shall I warm one's pipe?
Yes. I remember that episode.
Measurements are shared in news conferences and the media calls that happen twice a day, but he did not elaborate on why they're no longer on the main FEMA page. Our mission is to support the government and its response priorities through the unified command structure to help Puerto Ricans recover and return to routines. Information on the stats that you are looking specifically for are readily available. on the website maintained by the Governor's Office. The stats that are on FEMA page include these, that there are now 14,000 federal workers on the ground in Puerto Rico and U.S. Virgin Islands, up from the 12,000 earlier in the week. All airports, federally maintained ports, and post offices are open. More than 30 miles of roadway have been cleared, up from the 20 miles earlier in the week, and about 65% of the grocery stores have reopened, along with nearly all hospitals and dialysis centers, and 64% of wastewater treatment plants are working on generator power. The statistics illustrate Trump's assertion that the island is quickly making tremendous strides towards full recovery, and that the media has exaggerated the conditions on the ground. He has noted that despite the force of the storms that hit Puerto Rico, the death toll is not as high as it was in Hurricane Katrina, where about 1,800 people were killed, but that's mainly due to the levees breaking, and the fact that New Orleans is underwater. Literally. Under the sea level.
Yeah.
There's a different circumstance, Trump. Stop comparing everything to Katrina. Honestly, it just makes you look bad.
Yeah, just like, it's a catastrophe, like Katrina. What? Why would you, don't even add that last part, just say it's a catastrophe.
Just cut off your statement, just say it's a catastrophe, say the government's dealing with it. Don't bring up Katrina in every freaking hurricane thing, because it just makes you look bad. This isn't about comparing who died more, because that's what it makes it sound like. Oh yeah, look at under Katrina, all the people died. Under my term, not a lot of people died. It's like different circumstances, man.
Mm-hmm. Not only that, but
it's in bad taste.
There's also now a storm that's projected as super strength and hit New Orleans.
Yes, I heard about that recently.
I was just like watching the thing. It just appeared. It's like, oh yeah, it's probably been Cat 4 before landfall. I'm like,
what's it called? It's Thomas or something? Or
I don't know. I didn't pay too much attention.
I don't know.
I'd have to check NOAA again.
Yeah, we'll full of NOAA after this. Or
yeah.
Whenever we're done at the end of it.
We're gonna be done soon. We're not even get to anything else. We're already 2 hours in.
Okay, fuck it. We're cutting Catalonia.
Really?
Yes. There's better stories to cover. I mean, I'll briefly cover Catalonia. We won't cover all the stories, but I'll briefly cover Catalonia.
We're gonna cover all the stories.
It's very. I know, but I want to cover at least the stories in U.S. news. They're pretty interesting.
Oh fucking okay. And it's technically U.S. news.
Yeah, technicality.
I mean, it's U.S. news. This is U.S. soil. We just talked about this.
It is. Trump, who visited Puerto Rico on Tuesday, has repeatedly noted the infrastructure of the financially struggling island was already weak before the hurricane hit it. In a series of tweets on September 21st, Trump wrote that Puerto Rico was already suffering from broken infrastructure and massive debt, and had an old electrical grid that was in terrible shape. During his visit Tuesday, Trump told reporters it's difficult to fix the power grid because it was devastated before the hurricanes even hit, and that federal workers have been bringing dozens of generators to power the island's hospitals, government buildings, shelters, and other key locations. And yes, folks, Netflix prices are rising.
Where's that at?
Maybe further down? I don't know. But yeah, that's the story that's coming up. They're rising prices like 10%. So your Netflix prices will rise about $1 to $2 depending on the package.
No, my Netflix is going to go up and I already barely use it. I watch it. I used it to binge watch Dark Matter, so I got my money out of it. It's like $10 a month, $11 a month. Not a big fucking deal.
Mm-hmm. And now it'll be $11 a month.
I mean, it already went up. It used to not be that much either. You used to be able to get HD or like regular stuff, everything for $9, and then now it's like to pay for HD, you gotta pay the $10, $11 one. And 4K, you gotta pay $12 the 14. Oh my! I don't even do the 4K because it's still a gimmick.
I don't do 4K because I don't have enough 4K TVs.
I thought you have a 4K TV.
I have a 4K TV, but like sure. If I
you also get the whole 4 users on it once thing for doing.
Well, I already get that.
Really?
Yeah.
Maybe it's more than that. I don't know,
maybe.
I mean, I have a 4K TV.
Like I have a 4K TV and I have my computer hooked up, so yeah, I could run Netflix through my desktop and get 4K. Sure.
I tried it. So I did the trial and I tried it and I bumped it back down. There's literally no difference. Like I said, I did it on my TV.
There was no difference. The other problem is that there's not a lot of 4K content.
Well, no. I specifically was looking. No, there was stuff. I looked at it. I specifically watched it. It's like, you watch this 4K. Okay. And I did, and I'm like, I don't see if I bump it down. No, not much difference. But then you bump it down lower than HD, and then it's like,
oh, the pixels. You can see the blur.
And I'm like, pixels.
Yep.
Dude, I had a stuck pixel on my monitor the other day. It was triggering me. There's just this little blue pixel in the middle of my monitor, and I'm like, It's like it was flickering, like it wanted to work, but it wasn't working. I was like, no,
that's terrible.
I was like, no, don't do this to me. And then so I went there and I tapped the shit out of it and started working correctly. I was like, thank God. I probably have to buy new monitors soon. .tm. Oh yeah, you didn't even bring me another HDMI cable that I needed. God damn it!
You gotta remind me of these things, man.
I need all those things.
Yes. Okay, so that's pretty much it for Puerto Rico.
So you're gonna cover the.
Yeah, I'll cover Spanish.
Right.
So I'll give you the TLDR of what's going on. So Catalan.
Catalonia?
Yeah, Catalonia, it's also another name for it, is a portion of Spain that also includes Barcelona. It is also bordering France. Catalan is attempting to declare independence. It has been declared illegal by Spanish courts because under the Spanish Constitution, a territory cannot declare independence without it being approved and such. But Catalonia is attempting to do it.
Well, of course. Why? That's first of all, that's a really shitty constitution. Without being, unless we say you're independent, you can't declare independence. Well, that's why people.
That says it is in America's constitution.
Huh?
And if a state wants to secede from the union, it has to be approved by Congress.
Yeah, which is stupid because they're never going to approve it.
No, of course not. But that's the point. Is that
I don't know why you'd put it in there to make you. I guess to make you to give it a little chance.
You have a hope, tiny hope.
Maybe if you're a really shitty state and nobody wants you, like if
Missouri, if you're
I said Michigan,
Mississippi. If you're Mississippi, Mississippi's the worst state in the union. Provable fact.
If you're Michigan, well, Michigan's the worst state because Highkick lives there.
In Bay City, Michigan.
All Bay Cities are shitty cities. Anyway.
Yes. So yes, Catalonia is attempting to declare independence. So they were holding. So the people in Catalonia are like, "Fuck you, Spain. We're gonna do us," and they did. They tried to do secret ballots across the country, across the area. Spain then set essentially in militia. What the hell do they call it? There's a very Spanish name for it. Yes, here it is. The Madrid government has refused to rule out invoking Article 155 of the Constitution. The article, which has never been used, makes provisions for the central government to step in and take control of an autonomous region if it does not fulfill the obligations imposed upon it by the Constitution or the laws, acts. So basically, Spain could just come in and say, "Fuck you, we're taking over this shit." That's gonna be bad. Spain, honestly, you're fucking up royally.
I mean, it's
that's the thing.
It's when people in America.
Yeah, essentially.
That's what it is.
But when people want independence, give it to them and then ignore them. Joss likes to say, and this is kind of funny, but tell people you're going to hell and make them want to go. That's what Spain needs to do in Catalonia. Tell them, yeah, sure, vote on your independence and don't fucking give it to them. That's it. Give these people a vote, let them vote, and then ignore them. People will be like, okay, we had our vote, the government gave us their vote, etc., we're happy. And then it's like, 55% say they want to stay with Spain, 45% say they want to independent. Great, Spain can say, yeah, you wanted to stay, but your majority said you wanted to stay, you're going to stay. And then people are like, well, what can we do? We had an election. But no, when you're sending in full-on army to crack down on citizens, dragging out old ladies and, busting heads and beating on firefighters and shit.
That's only going to make the citizens...
It's only going to make them mad. It's only going to make them...
That's going to make the revolutionaries...
That's going to make them make... You're going to have a civil war on your hands.
That's how you make terrorists and stuff, basically.
Yeah. And then it was so funny. The Spanish main government was the Spanish police union was getting pissed off because hotels in the Catalonian region some of them were being actually forced to deny the state police's ability to stay there. The hotels were threatened by the mayors in the town. If you don't force people out, we're going to revoke your licenses to do business. So the hotels are like, fucking get out. And then the police are like, Yeah, these hotels aren't letting us stay here. That's not nice. They should let us stay here. They're like, it's just petty complaining about wanting to stay in a hotel. Because they're being kicked out of it, because nobody wants them in there, because they're fucking cracking down on citizens and smashing heads in. Like let's roll that video right there. Hey, look at this.
Fucking jump kick that.
Yeah, they do. You're just throwing people down the stairs. Look at that, dragging by their hair. Kicking people.
This is the most like weird police setup ever. They're like in riot gear, but they're just like they're not even protecting themselves or anything really. They're just wearing their armor. They think they're good and they're just going through whatever.
Well, I mean, they're trying to. I mean, the people there are trying to show this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know, it looks terrible for these police, which is exactly the point.
Yeah, it does.
I mean, and in this same polling station, I guess it's not a part of this video, but they show a police fucking just jump kicking at a protester on the bottom of the stairs, just full on, just bam to his face. It's terrible.
Terribly hilarious, it sounds like.
I mean, and I didn't know Spain has a king, but apparently Spain has a king.
Where's that at?
Down right below the video.
I just carried on because you said you wanted to carry on.
I know, I'm still covering
Carry on my wayward self.
So the cabinet president.
This story.
Yes, it's fucking ridiculous that.
Opposes UN resolution against the death penalty for same-sex relations.
Yeah.
Oh, America. So the United States is openly opposing gay marriage for the rest of the world.
No, this isn't gay marriage.
Well, no, it's gays' rights to live as human beings. Yeah, I know what it is. I know damn well.
You know, I mean,
who in the U.S. is doing?
It's our ambassador, River clearly. Well, our ambassador to the U.S. Nikki Haley, and she's a fucking idiot, and I think she's a homophobe. She's just put in there by Trump, so I don't know. She's an idiot.
She's another Trump administration. Gotcha. Yeah. So I gotta say,
no, look at the great people we're with. So I'll go through the story as well. This is a brief thing.
Which one is this? Is this the UN thing?
Yes, the UN thing.
Where are you at?
You're gonna want to super enhance this.
I did.
I guess you can. That's about as good as you get it. The US on September 29th voted against a UN Human Rights Council resolution that condemns the death penalty for those who are found guilty of committing consensual same-sex sexual acts. The resolution, which Belgium, Benin, Costa Rica, France, Mexico, Moldova, Mongolia, and Switzerland introduced, passed by a 27 to 13 margin. So, it passed. Fantastic news. That's great. Let's see who supported it. Congo, Cote d'Ivoire, Ghana, Rwanda, South Africa, Togo, Kyrgyzstan, Mongolia, Albania, Croatia, Georgia, Hungary, Latvia, Slovenia, Bolivia, Brazil, Ecuador, Salvador, Panama, Paraguay, Venezuela, Belgium, Germany, the Netherlands, Portugal, Switzerland, and UK supported the resolution. A lot of those are African nations, so that's surprising to me. A lot of those are East Bloc European countries, so again, also mildly, not super surprising, but mildly surprising. It's still Europe, so not super surprising. The people who opposed it: Botswana, Burundi, Egypt, Ethiopia, Bangladesh, China, India, Iraq, Japan, Qatar, Saudi Arabia, the UAE, and the United States.
Why did Japan?
Japan's actually their culture is actually kind of homophobic. A lot of the older generation, they're actually very.
Oh yeah, the old people are. Yeah, the old people are just like anything homophobic.
Yes, they are. So Botswana, Burundi, Egypt, Ethiopia, and Bangladesh. I think it is definitely. I'm pretty sure for all those countries, it is illegal to be gay. If you're caught being gay, you're almost like you're going to be killed by an angry mob in those countries. China, not 100% sure. India, I think there are social outrages to get this, but I'm not sure if it's illegal. Iraq, understandable because it's a Muslim nation. Japan, because they're fucking old people and they're very strict culture. Qatar, Saudi Arabia, and UAE, it's also illegal, and there is death penalty and such in those countries, I believe. And the United States is just like, oil?
Oil? Question mark?
It's like, yeah, none of the other countries give us oil, but those folks do. Saudi Arabia does, so we're sticking with them. Honestly, the United States, whoever voted on this, needs to just get a backhand, because this makes the United States look like a fucking idiot.
It really does.
I mean, when the modern world is supporting this, and the United States is, you know what, let's go with all those other countries that kill gay people. We want to be a part of that.
Because our Christian belief stuff, man, it's weird.
Then again, I mean, gay marriage is legal across the nation, thanks to the Supreme Court. Kenya, Nigeria, Tunisia, Indonesia, the Philippines, and South Korea and Cuba have abstained. Interesting. And then, of course, Egypt, Russia, and Saudi Arabia sought to dilute the amendment, but says to change it to say that Russia stated that the death penalty does not per se mean a human rights violation, but may lead to a human rights violation, and in some cases, the death penalty leads to torture, rather than that many states hold the death penalty as a form of torture. God, that fucking bullshit-ass language.
Mm-hmm.
And the United States backed a proposed amendment from Egypt that stated a moratorium on the death penalty should be a decision of after domestic debate. Yeah, so... Yeah, and there it is. So, like, Iran, Saudi Arabia, Mauritania, I don't know what the hell that is, and Sudan are among the handful of countries in which consensual same-sex relations remains punishable by death, and of course ISIS. So, yay, we're in league with ISIS.
We already were. I've been over that hundreds of times on the stream.
Yeah, but honestly, the United States just needs.
No, it just looks. It really does look terrible.
It looks terrible for us. That's part of why I want to share this, because it's just like, what the fuck. I mean,
these are the people we put in office. We're stuck with them for 3 more years, everybody. 3 more years. I swear. So if we make it through the next 3 years, first of all, we have to make it through the next 3 years. If he reruns and he gets reelected, I'm gonna lose my mind. I promise. By the time I get a new job and I get good money, I'm going to just save up a pool of like a couple $100,000, right? Okay? If I can. Because I got 3 years. Maybe not a couple $100,000. Just
a couple tens of thousands.
Yeah, a few tens of thousands. And as soon as I hear that Trump is president, I will move my bitch ass out of this country faster.
Canada's always looking for good people.
Huh?
Canada's always looking for good people.
I'm not good people. I don't belong in Canada.
No, but you have IT skills.
I won't be sorry for anything.
Sorry.
Everyone else will be sorry. Sorry? You're damn right you're sorry. God. It's my answer to everything.
It's funny, they actually had to change the laws there to say that saying sorry after an accident does not implicate you of actually committing the crime.
Oh, wow. That's nice, though.
Sorry. But not sorry.
Well, I mean, that's nice, though, because I guess that was an issue.
That was an issue.
Because, I mean, here, I'm sorry. Then it's like, so you admit fault. No, I'm just sorry, because that's a terrible thing. It's bad that happened.
Yeah, but they had to change that, and it's just like, it's so funny they had to, but they did.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you want to cover the French story?
The what?
French police. It's a short story.
French police arrest couple with rocket launcher and Kalashnikov near Marseille. Ooh, nice. A couple who were found with a rocket launcher and an AK-47 assault rifle in their vehicle during a routine traffic stop have been arrested by police in southern France. The pair, in their 20s, who have not been named, were picked up in Porte-de-Boc near Marseille. Ammunition was also recovered from the car, Lee Patterson reported. The 25-year-old male was reportedly known to police for abusing his female partner, who was arrested alongside him. He was not permitted to contact her, according to reports. According to La Province newspaper, the man was known for petty crimes and did not have known connections to Islamist extremist groups. An investigation.
Well, now he does.
An investigation into the suspects been handled to the Marseille Judicial Police.
I'm surprised it's not under their, like, as far as it hasn't been handled to, like, federal...
Under the counter-terrorists.
Yeah.
Something like that.
He's like, you just don't get an RPG.
I don't know if it was RPG. It says Rocket Launcher. They might not know. I assume it would be an RPG, though. The arrest came as 5 people were questioned by police in Paris following the discovery of a primed bomb at an apartment block in Paris. I didn't hear about that. Well, you didn't cover that. Let's see what guns these dudes have. I think those are all AK-looking style weapon systems. I can't tell, really. They have bayonets and shit, though. Who the fuck uses bayonets these days?
I don't know.
Is that France?
I don't know.
It doesn't look like France, but it could be. I have no idea.
Click on the picture. Nope. Indonesia.
Oh,
Members of Indonesia's Special Forces, Kompas, marched during celebrations for the 72nd anniversary of Indonesia's military.
There's like weird fucking like modern AK platforms with fucking bayonets, guys.
Well, it's a special celebration, so I guess that makes sense.
Whatever.
Anyways.
The men in their 20s are reportedly known to authorities, and one is an intelligence services list of radicalized people, which features the names of potential Islamist militants. The explosive device is made up of 2 gas canisters connected with wires to a mobile phone judicial service.
So basically, you call it and it goes boom.
Yeah, I mean, it's how a lot of phone bombs work. It's not hard. It's not rocket science.
No, but I mean...
All you gotta do is...
like, why did it take so long?
For what?
I mean, if they have a list of radicalized people, I mean, I'm assuming they're investigating these folks.
Probably.
But I mean,
that's probably
clearly they weren't investigating them. They were investigating them for such a, they weren't investigating them for such a long time. They didn't have time to build a bomb. Get ahead of this.
No. They found these 2 after they found the bomb.
Well, no. No, the 2 people in the car, but they're talking about the bomb. They're talking about the people who were arrested for having the bomb. Is that that one of them was on a list of radicalized people. But clearly, because they took their time investigating them, which I'm not saying they shouldn't investigate them, obviously investigate people, but I'm just saying you need to get more investigations going. If you have a list of people, you really need to get these people investigated faster so they don't have time to build a bomb.
You know how much effort it takes to build a bomb? Like they described, literally, cell phone. All right, so let me tell you how to build a bomb. Actually, I'm gonna tell you how to build a megaphone. I need a squirrel, some duct tape, and a megaphone.
Yeah.
I mean, so something like that. Terrible joke, but yeah.
Anyways.
All right.
Moving on.
So to U.S. news. Probably the end of the newscast.
Which is a shame, because there's interesting news in tech.
Wah.
So
this about it later, sir. Killing stories.
So this is actually really interesting. It's a fairly long story, and I've read it, so I'm just going to do it. Yeah, right. And I'm going to cover certain sections of it.
And then you're going to go ahead and read the next one.
Just reading all these stories and... No, you can read the next one. It's about Black Lives Matter.
Oh, yay. Why do I have to read it? It's because I'm, possibly white?
Yes.
That's racist.
So, they thought they were going to rehab. They ended up in chicken plants. You can just leave it on the title screen. I'll read through the story. It's more impactful that way. So, the worst day of Brad McGahey's life was the day a judge decided to spare him from prison. McGahey was 23, with dreams of making it big in radio, maybe starring in his own reality TV show. Hopes of an idiot. With a 1.5 GPA, God, so low. He'd barely managed to graduate from high school. He had 2 kids and mounting child support. Wow, real winner there. I just sound like I'm hating on this guy, but this guy went through terrible shit, and I feel bad for him. Then he got busted for buying a stolen horse trailer. I mean, it was stolen, but did he know it was stolen at the time?
Probably not.
That's the thing, probably not.
That's depressing for this man.
Yeah. Fell behind on court fines and then blew off his probation officer. Standing in a tiny wooded panel courtroom in rural Oklahoma in 2010, he faced 1 year in state prison.
Wow, for a fucking stolen horse trailer?
Yep, so the judge, and I guess child support payments, because he's managing child support debt. But it doesn't make sense to send people to prison if they have debt.
Dead or prison. Woo!
Pretty much, yeah.
That actually happens more often than not.
No,
when they get out, they still have to pay, and it's stupid.
We covered that. We covered debtor prisons a few weeks ago.
And it's like, why would you send this person to prison? They don't make any money to send off to anybody, and then they come out and they stay, back child support!
Yeah, no, definitely.
For the rest of their lives.
And it says here, so the judge had another plan. You need to learn a work ethic. The judge told them, I'm sending you to care. McGahey had heard of Christians, alcoholics, and addicts in recovery. Great name. People called it the Chicken Farm. A rural retreat where the defendants stayed for a year, got addiction treatment, and learned to live more productive lives. Most were sent there by courts across Oklahoma and neighboring states as part of a nationwide push to keep nonviolent offenders out of prison. Aside from daily cans of Dr. Pepper, this guy here, McGahey wasn't addicted to anything. The judge knew that, but the chicken farm sounded like better than prison. A few weeks later, McGahey stood in front of a speeding conveyor belt inside a frigid poultry plant, pulling guts and stray feathers from slaughtered chickens, destined for major fast food restaurants and grocery stores. There wasn't much substance abuse treatment at CARE. It was mostly factory work for one of America's top poultry companies. If McGahey got hurt or worked too slow, his bosses threatened him with prison, and he worked for free. CARE pocketed the pay. It was a slave camp, McGahey said. I can't believe the court sent me there. Soon it will get worse. So, let me just comment about this.
This is something that
because we've talked about this.
Well, we've talked about it on stream before,
We talked about this on stream, and I talked about this on a stream.
But he's talked about it on his stream.
On a stream
that never continued. Their streams are relevant. Well, they don't matter anymore.
Well, it was only an opportunistic thing.
I thought you guys were going to turn it into a real thing.
No, it was more of a, as something comes up or something we want to talk about, we would talk about it.
You guys did it like 2 weeks in a row and stopped.
We didn't. It wasn't 2 weeks. Was it 2 weeks?
It was 2 weeks in a row. Yes.
Yeah. Well, we had topics talking.
You had Trooper and you had Asimov. They're not the most two reliable people in the world. Yeah. That's one thing you can do. You can rely on me to at least exist and be here. That's about it.
Yes. But as a part of the conversation that we had, we talked about
prisons.
We talked about prisons and prisons using labor.
Mm-hmm.
I specifically, this is the first I'm hearing about this, but I talked about like salmon fisheries. That a lot of salmon in a lot of grocery stores comes from prisons. A lot of prisoners raise salmon and such for major...
Catfish, I think, too. Catfish mostly.
Yeah, catfish comes from farms, too, a lot of it.
Yeah, but I don't know if those are prison farms.
I don't know, but I know for salmon, at least a lot of it. And for those that come from, farm-raised salmon, a lot of it comes from prisons. And the prisoners get paid a couple bucks per hour or whatever to work on this. And it goes to support major restaurants and food chains and such. And this is something similar. This is the United States using slave labor, not paying people anything, threatening them with prison if they fail to do a good job, forcing them to work in terrible environments for no pay. I mean, if that's not slavery, I don't know what is. Mm-hmm. We got rid of debtors' prisons. But sure as fuck doesn't seem like it.
Or so we thought. And there was still that thing where Texas passed the law where if you didn't pay your student loans for so long, the state, U.S., Texas, like marshals and stuff, could come in and grab you from your house and throw you in prison.
So
that's literally debtor's prison.
Yeah, so we got rid of debtor's prisons, folks. Remember that. Sure. Let's see. So basically what it says, so a lot of judges are sending prisoners to these rehabs instead of prisons because the prisons are overpopulated and the rehabs are an easy way to save money on the state side. But in a rush to spare people from prison, some judges are steering defendants into rehabs that are little more than lucrative work camps for private industry. An investigation by Reveal, the Center for Investigative Reporting, has found.
I mean, a lot of prisons are also still privately owned and are...
a lot of prisons are privately owned and they're making hand over fist money. Oh, there's a gecko on your glass.
Yeah, he's walking around. He's having a good time.
Yeah. I mean, making hand over fist money, forcing the governments of these states to pay for occupancy rates they're not meeting. Like, that's literally a thing. In the contracts for a lot of these private prisons, they will force the states to say, you will pay us at like 90-95% occupancy if we dip below that occupancy level. Mm-hmm. So they could be like 60-70% occupancy, and they're still getting paid for 90-95% occupancy. Yeah. And the state has to pay it. So, I mean, it's ridiculous.
Although most of them are at fucking capacity.
Yeah, most of them are at or well above capacity. And I'm just saying, it's written into the contract that they could do that.
Yeah, I know, which is pretty fucky.
Yeah. I mean, if you consider that, if you could build enough prisons to blanket overall reduce your,
I should start a prison.
Yeah, probably could. The beneficiaries support all kinds of things, like a Coca-Cola bottling plant in Oklahoma, a construction firm in Alabama, and a nursing home in North Carolina. That's been interesting. But perhaps no rehab better exemplifies its allegiance to big business than CARE. Listen, it was started in 2007 by chicken company executives struggling to find workers. How despicable is that? The chicken company's like, we really can't find enough workers to hire. You know what we should do? Make our own prison rehab system. By forming a Christian rehab, they could supply plants with cheap captive labor forces while helping men overcome their addictions. Sure. At CARE, about 200 men live in a sprawling grassy compounds in the northeast Oklahoma, most working full-time for Simmons Food Inc., a company with an annual revenue of Simmons Food Inc. $1.4 billion. This company's making $1.4 billion, and they're complaining they can't get people, and they're supplementing it with fucking free prison labor. The Simmons Food Inc. supplies Walmart, KFC, and Popeyes, and they also supply pet foods for PetSmart and Rachel's Ray's Nutris brand. It's despicable. Chicken processing plants are notoriously dangerous, understaffed, hours are long, pay is low, and conditions are brutal.
Brutal. Shit's brutal.
Men in the CARE program said their hands became gnarled after days spent hanging thousands of chickens from metal shackles. One man said he was burnt with acid hosing down a trailer. Others were maimed by machines or contracted serious bacterial infections. Listen to this. Those who were hurt or who no longer could work were kicked out of CARE and sent to prison. Most men work through the pain, fearing the same fate. They work you to death. They work you every day. It's a work camp. They know people are desperate to get out of prison, and they do whatever they can to stay out of prison.
Maybe if they went to prison, like, anybody that's ever been to prison that I know, someone tells me prison's not that bad. Since I was in juvenile detention, which is like small-time prison's not that bad. Depends on what you go for. Depends on where you end up, I'm sure. But, like, it depends on the people in it. Even people that have committed crimes, even older people, like, even these kids, these were, like, I don't know. I would even wait until these kids were decent individuals. They just made a wrong turn in life or did something stupid at the time, like stole a car, and now they're paying the price. And, people do stupid shit sometimes. It's a part of being human, to be honest. But, so it's like, not everyone that goes to jail is a bad person.
Yeah. So listen, legal experts say forcing defendants to work for free might violate their constitutional rights of the 13th Amendment, which bans slavery and involuntary servitude in the United States, except as punishment for convicts. That's why prison labor programs are legal. But many defendants sent to CARE have not been convicted of crimes, and some later have their cases dismissed. Don't you just love that? Especially if you keep, like that one guy who we covered a few weeks ago who was in prison but was an American citizen, but was caught by ICE.
Yeah.
Just imagine that, because these states can drag out the process.
Oh yeah.
And I imagine that they probably get a kickback from CARE. Some of these judges, it would not surprise me.
I wouldn't know if the judges do. Maybe
the judges, the prosecutors, somebody along the line somewhere.
Maybe the judges don't know. Like maybe they assume, let's say if it's somebody from Bay City, one of the Bay City judges,
they're actually breaking the law.
Huh?
Further in the story, it says they're breaking the law.
Yeah.
So, and we have a professor specializing in labor law at the UCLA said that there's a very strong 13th Amendment violation. So, As a part of the drug courts, they're required to send defendants to treatment at certified programs with trained counselors and state oversight. Care is uncertified, only one of its 3 counselors is licensed, and no state agency regulates it. So legally, they can't even send the people there. But the judges, here's a judge here saying, I do what I want. They don't mess with me. And then she's like, I'm not saying that in a cocky way. They just know I'm just going to do drug court the way I've always done it. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, that's pretty much, there's still more to the story. There's a lot of it. But it's just insane. It's insane. We have debtors' prisons in America. We have slave labor forces working for some of the biggest companies in the United States, making profit hand over fist with no freaking cost of employment. Just imagine, because you got to consider, if somebody gets sick, it's not these companies, it's not these people paying. It's probably the federal, it's for the state government paying, because state governments have to pay for hospital fees for prisoners and such. So it's the state government paying for hospital fees if they get sick. They're not even paying them for the work they do. This is an outrage of a prison system. This is an absolute outrage. This should not be allowed to continue.
I would say it's an outrage. Yeah, it's a true thing, dude.
Yes, this is absolutely true.
It's very true. I mean, even all prisons have fucking labor force. The nearest us has the prisoners working out in the field. Partially in a prison environment, I think in that one specifically, the Clemens unit, it's more of a good behavior thing. You get to run heavy machinery and just get out and sit in a fucking tractor by yourself. It's probably nice. It's probably better than sitting in prison all day. To be honest. So there's some things like that are okay. Or there's the prisoners that run barber shops or whatever.
Or work in kitchens.
And
it gives them something to do, and it makes them a bit of money, and it gives them commissary.
Yeah.
I mean, there's reasons to it, and those are fine.
Some are. But it's just whenever they force a prisoner to do work, I think that's not okay. To force somebody to do something they don't want to do. If somebody wants to be
threaten somebody with prison.
Yeah. Somebody gives you some sort of other alternative. Because
nobody wants to go to prison, and if somebody hears a way out, they're going to take it. That's why this program works.
Because again, the stigmata of prison's pretty bad. But like I said, prison's probably not as bad as some of these people think. Honestly, this sounds wholly a lot worse than prison. I mean, it doesn't even talk about how they if they eat food and how they are. It sounds like they get hurt and then they get sent to prison anyway.
Yeah,
it sounds terrible.
If you get hurt, you get sent to prison.
It sounds like you should just go to
prison.
If
you don't work fast enough, you get sent to prison. If you get sick, you get sent to prison.
At least if you're in prison, you get to manage yourself slightly more than that. Because in most prisons, I think they don't even really manage you too much. You manage yourself in your own time.
Pretty much.
So rushed.
But I mean, this is insane.
No, it's insane in the membrane.
But something needs to be done. I mean, this entire thing needs to be shut down.
Well, a lot of the American justice system really needs to be fixed. Mm-hmm. It needs to be, I guess, capitalism needs to be gone out of it, basically. Because that's what it boils down to. A lot of it is the capitalistic society made its way into our fucking court system.
And we're going to say this for all the people who are these goddamn communists. I'm not against capitalism.
I'm totally against capitalism whenever it becomes as bad as it is now.
Yeah, no. I'm not against capitalism. I just want it well regulated.
Which is not.
Right now it's not regulated.
It's the whole rich getting richer regulation.
If you look at the chart, of recovery after the Great Recession, so you'll see the 1% and the top 10% of earners, they've bounced back miles above anybody else. Anybody who is middle class, lower class, you haven't seen the recovery. Nobody's seen the recovery on that side.
Mm-hmm. But you're born in the middle class, unless something really spontaneous or lucky happens to you, you're probably going to be stuck there for the rest of your life.
Actually, no. As a part of that same conversation, we talked about education. Mm-hmm. Education is the number one factor of whether you can advance out of your social class. Or economic class, I should say. Mm-hmm. If you get an education, bachelor's degree, even an associate's degree, if you get associate's or a bachelor's degree, you have a 37+% chance of breaking out of the middle class to the upper class.
I don't want any degree. I'm going to do without a degree. I'm going to become...
If you have a degree, if you're in the lower class and you get a degree, you have a 47% chance of breaking out.
Yeah. Technically, I think I was always middle.
Yeah, you were middle.
Yeah.
Definitely middle. Like, I'm middle, technically, because my parents own property and a house.
Mm-hmm.
Even though our family wealth isn't middle class, by some definitions of middle class, because property and home ownership, we're technically middle class.
That would be the same thing for us. They live paycheck to paycheck. That's one of those sayings, like, there's a common misconception within Bay City that my family's supposedly super rich, and I'm like, we just have a nice house. I mean, we all each have our own cars. That's another thing that I know, like, a lot of people don't have necessarily. Mm-hmm. But I mean, like, nobody helped me out with my car. They all helped each other with their own shit. Nobody helped me with mine. My shit's all self-made, baby. All of mine's self-made. The only reason my mom co-signed is because the dealership was being stupid and I was trying to refinance to get her off as co-signer. Mm-hmm. She, like, continues to hold it over me, and I'm like, I ain't co-signing for shit. They told me I could have got it by myself. I don't know why they required your signature for nothing when you had worse credit than I did.
I don't know.
Stupid.
Yeah.
But yeah. Anyways. Alright, carrying on to BLM. And we're getting almost to the end of the show.
We're gonna go through US news.
No, I mean...
No, the rest of the stories are fairly short.
Nope.
Look, we're covering US news.
Nope.
I don't care. I'll do it anyways.
Do it. Do it by yourself. And by that I mean I'm going to turn off my computer, go in my room, and jerk it. Furiously. Black Lives Matter protest American... I know. God damn it. September 27th, Black Lives Matter protest at College of William and Mary interrupted students and the First Amendment.
I know, look at that's the freaking discussion that they're having. That's the event schedule.
Yep, a scheduled event co-sponsored by AMT and the American Civil Liberties Union. First Amendment riots have dominated national conversation in recent months, with opposing sides debating the extent to which hate speech counts as free speech. Following the August 11th through 12th Charlottesville protest, the ACLU voiced a decisive stance on the issue by defending white nationalists' right to free speech. Thank you, God. The move attracted widespread backlash from ACLU supporters and detractors alike, as well as college's BLM chapter, which responded by staging its September 27th protest. The ACLU discussion never occurred because protesters took over the stage within 5 minutes of Executive Director of the ACLU of Virginia, Claire Guthrie Gostenjager's, I guess that's correct, Jesus Christ, entrance, signs in hand. The protest shouted chants such as "liberalism is white supremacy," and "the revolution will not uphold."
I'm a white supremacist now, folks. Oh, happy day!
The revolution will not uphold the Constitution.
The revolution will be televised, and then put it on Twitter and Instagram.
No. See, that's V for Vendetta, but no.
No, but these fucking idiots.
No, they're really stupid. It's like Gree was saying that Antifa, as we talked about, as I told you, it is a terrorist organization, and he's actually doing his project on them. He actually has to write a for his terrorism class that he's taking for law enforcement. He has to write a paper about them being a terrorist group or whatever.
If he likes any assistance, I'd be happy to help.
Do it. He's like, Ken's like, Antifa? I love Antifa. I love to shit on Antifa. He's probably in Discord right now, jerking something up. Nobody's alive in Discord. Damn. Oh, he's streaming at Where You At, Boy Yo. In a few minutes. Well, where you at, boy? In a few minutes.
Yeah.
Memdrims. 30 memes.
Yeah. So 20 minutes into the protest, AMP director...
Bag the lollies.
Oh, for God's sakes, Hijack. Approached the group...
That boy ain't right!
Approached the group with a microphone and gave the members an opportunity to read the prepared statement. In the statement, BLM criticized ACLU's approach to white supremacy in regard to the white supremacist rally in Charlottesville, suggesting the organization provided an unnecessary platform for white supremacists. This is what they said. When is the free speech of the oppressed protected? A BLM representative asked. We know from personal experience that the rights granted to wealthy, white, cis, male, straight bodies do not trickle down to marginalized groups.
What does cis even mean, yo?
I believe cis means that you identify as the gender you were born as.
What's wrong with that? Why? That sounds like a terrible term. Like, cis sounds like a derogatory term.
The thing is,
which it is.
Cis only came into the lexicon recently.
Yeah.
Like, I think the term's been around, but it's only made its way into popular lexicon recently. We face greater barriers for consequences in speaking. So,
I feel hurt because I am a white male.
You are a white, cis, male, straight bi.
I don't know if I am cis. I self-identify as being... I have a decently sized dong. It's really hard to miss when I wake up in the morning. It's like, I have no question here. I'm still a man. And one of these days I'm going to wake up with tits and a vag and I'm going to be like, that's new. I'm going to call Kenneth. Kenneth, I'm a woman now.
And be like, well, that's new.
No, actually, probably if I ever called Kenneth, like, Kenneth would be like, how high are you? He won't even take me seriously.
What are you taking and how do I get some?
Like, no, dude, I have tits, I swear. Better be fucking D's. Anyway.
2 C's.
Is that 2 C? There you go. Become a nice thick chick. Like, oh my god, I love myself. I'm so hot. Fuck yes. I'd fuck.
Who'd you do me?
God damn it. Alright, carry on.
But these idiots don't seem to understand that their protest is within their First Amendment rights, and nobody's fucking stopping them. Nobody's arresting them. Nobody's tearing them from the stage and stopping them. No. They're perfectly within their fucking rights to do this. I don't see them being oppressed. Do you see them being oppressed?
I don't see them being oppressed. No, I was actually trying to explain the same thing to my stepdad, because he was like, he seems like more SJW on this sort of topic, because like he brought up that whole thing. He's like, I don't think it's right for, the Nazis to be able to do stuff like that. I was like, well, you might not like their idea, but it's still their right to do that. Mm-hmm. He's like, they
let me say something controversial.
He was saying it's because they project violence or whatever. I was like, I don't know. I watched the rally. I didn't hear him saying anything really violent, actually.
So let me say something controversial. I'm against Nazis, but within their legal rights, they have the ability to protest peacefully.
Yeah.
That's a controversial opinion nowadays, apparently, but that's what I believe. So, and it's ridiculous because so after
he was talking about being a white nationalist anyway, like being a nationalist is being a Nazi. I was like, no, kind of not really. We talked about the difference.
The ideology is very similar. They're neo-Nazis.
Yeah.
So close enough. So after the cancellation was announced, remaining students clustered around Gastanaga, hoping to ask questions and voice concerns. Let's look further down.
You skipped a bit.
Yeah, because a lot of that's just BLM talking. We don't need this either. The students dispersed, however, when protesters began circling around them, jamming at Gastanaga and chanting with increased volume. So these assholes are then preventing the speech. They're oppressing an invited speaker and other people's rights to be heard and to hear.
It only counts as oppression when it's against you. It's like the millennial attitude. It's only a problem when it affects me. That's how it is with everybody. But that's how all people are. That's how I want to say most Americans are. It's only a problem when it affects me. It's just like all this shit, like Las Vegas shooting. I don't really care that a lot of people die. And then again, I'm also a dead inside, non-existent human being. But on top of everything, it doesn't affect me directly. Even if it affected me directly, I still don't think I'd care as much. The only thing at the time I'd care is maybe if somebody within my direct family had been shot and died. That's about it. Other than that, I'd be like, yeah, okay, crazy man shot a bunch of people. It's not really uncommon, to be fair. It's not uncommon anywhere in the world, even.
Well, in Japan it is.
Yeah, Japan is like all suicide.
Yeah, I think they have like 10 to 12 gun deaths a year, give or take, maybe less. UK too, also very limited in gun deaths. European nations also very limited in gun deaths.
No, the UK actually has quite a bit of gun deaths.
Does it?
I believe so. My British friend talks about it. He's like, you think it's super safe here because we don't have guns, but it's not.
Well, I know like Norway doesn't have many. Like I remember it was a big story like 2 years ago when there was actually the first officer involved, like, shooting the suspect. Like, the thing is, it was in, like, a couple decades that was the first time an officer had shot and killed the suspect. And they were like, they didn't know how to handle it for a little bit. Because it had never happened in their nation.
Like, how dare he? Oh, what's funny is Greer was talking about how officers are more likely, like the officers in America, most are trained to empty the entire mag into somebody and make sure they're dead. And I'm like, whoa, that's not okay.
No.
Not okay.
But you want to scroll down to the bottom of this statement? This is actually really good. So, yeah, that right there. Silencing voices in order to advance the cause of others. Certain voices. In order to advance the cause of others is not acceptable in our community. This stifles debate and prevents those who've come to hear a speaker, our students in particular, from asking questions, often hard questions, and from engaging in a debate where the strength of the ideas and not the power of shouting is the currency. So, Black Lives Matter, take note of that. So, Hashim, one of the students who was hoping to hear Gus and Naga speak, said he was disturbed by the aggression he perceived. You see, Black Lives Matter is causing a microaggression against this student here. The whole, the organization needs to be disbanded because of that. They're causing microaggressions and oppressing people of the other students in the community. They're the oppressors. They need to be disbanded.
There you go, bro. But that's all, folks. Ending straight. Anyway.
Yeah. Anyways, so that's pretty much. And look at this. This event was planned 5 months ago.
So this is Accused killer clown.
Yeah, this is all the video.
ABC's Lindsay Janice is here with the story. Good morning, Lindsay.
Bro,
Good
that guy
morning,
has a hard
Michael.
list.
This case haunted a family and a Florida community for nearly 30 years. Now a woman accused of dressing up as a clown and killing her lover's wife is finally in custody. Authorities
so this is an update to a story we covered last week.
Punishment.
This morning, Sheila Keene Warren could be facing the death penalty after police say she nearly got away with murder.
We filed notice of intent to seek the death penalty in this case.
The 54-year-old wife and stepmother charged in a bizarre 27-year-old cold case, like a scene straight out of the Hollywood film It.
Well, I'm Pennywise the dancing clown.
This is the woman who detectives say dressed as a clown.
Back in 1990, police say Keene Warren pulled up to the Florida home of her boyfriend's wife, dressed up as a clown, complete with an orange wig and white face paint, handed her a bouquet of flowers and 2 balloons, then shot her at point-blank range.
I really don't feel like talking now.
The victim's son, Joe, home at the time of the murder, watching the clown calmly driving away in this white convertible.
Any murder's horrific. It doesn't matter if you're wearing a clown costume or not.
Marlene Warren dying 2 days later. Investigators quickly zeroing in on Keene Warren, an employee at Marlene's husband's used car dealership. Detectives looking into rumors of an affair between the two. Police even finding fibers from a bright orange wig at Keene Warren's home. But there was never enough evidence to arrest her. Then, 3 years ago, detectives reopening the investigation with the help of new DNA testing, after learning that Keene Warren married the victim's husband, Michael, in 2002.
It was these technological advances that helped crack this case, and hopefully will bring justice to the family of Marlene Warren.
Last week, police finally arresting their suspect. Marlene Warren's parents saying they're relieved.
Justice will end it all here, and that's all that really counts.
Sheila Keene Warren was extradited Tuesday from Abingdon, Virginia, where she was living with her husband Michael for years. She's being held without bond and is expected to plead not guilty. Her lawyer saying she vehemently denies any involvement. George?
Okay, Lindsay, thanks very much. Dan Ames back for more on this. Wow, 27 years after the fact.
And they have viewed her as a suspect since 1991.
All right, cool done. Fantastic.
Yeah, so that was just a little update on that. So what's our next story? Oh yes, the Consumer Protection Bureau. Which this is a story that I like because fuck payday lenders. I have personal experience with them. I'm just reading all these stories, goddammit.
You seem to be really fired up about something. I was really going to read the last one, but then you're like, roll a bit. Okay.
Yeah, no, I have my personal experience with these fucking payday lenders. Just enrages me. So, I'll explain what happened with me. So, I needed some money, and I
think I've actually heard the story you talked about.
Yes, I've talked about it.
I was like, you didn't know payday loans were sketchy? I was like, I already knew payday loans were sketchy.
Yeah, I don't know. I was young. I was a young kid. I needed money.
Young man.
So
the YNCA.
We're gonna reenact the Village People. We're gonna get that playing on a green screen.
Oh god.
Just hit the video to the green screen. We'll get that playing in the background.
Can't. I don't think I can. I don't know how to do that.
It's me.
I don't know how to do it, man. I just know how to filter out the green screen. I don't know how to put shit on it.
God damn, we gotta get better on that.
Yeah, but then there's just like there's just a weird screen of movie playing behind us. We're just gonna be sitting in front of it like.
We'll get something going behind us.
Anyways, we need like a waving American flag or something.
Yes, that'll work. So yeah, I needed some money, and so I went to a payday loan center in our town. I didn't have like a new car; I had an old car. It was worth,
You went one here?
Yeah.
I thought it was downtown.
No, there was one here. Maybe a bit more difficult actually. So like so they showed me my car. They gave me like $800, I think. And like you had to pay every week or every 2 weeks. You had to make payments.
Mm-hmm.
So like I got the money, and then it turned out I actually didn't need it. So I went to return it, and they're like, "Yeah, we take it $800, and you're gonna owe us another $800."
What?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah,
that's stupid.
You know. So I'm rushing because like I worked an hour away. And their office closed at 6, and I didn't actually arrive in the town till like 5:45. So immediately every week I had to go. Well, for the 2 or 3 weeks I had the actual thing open, I had to go rush to town, rush to Walmart, pull it out in cash because they only accepted cash.
Sketchy.
Or maybe they didn't have checks, but whatever. I had to go rush to my bank. Pull out money, rush to the damn thing, and we're like, I have your money. And it's like, yeah, so that interest rate is like 500%.
Weird.
Like interest rates on payday loans is insane.
Yeah.
That's what they don't tell. Like you go through, you read it, and like they don't tell you how much your payments are. They don't tell you anything.
That's sketchy because I feel like that would be illegal because it's fully.
No, it's completely legal.
So it's all the information that you need to do, everything.
Yeah.
You do. Well, it's like buy here, pay here lots that are really sketchy, like Mike Fix Please, Echo. What Echo? There shouldn't be.
Is there? What do you mean Echo?
Yeah, they're.
Scroll down. Scroll down.
Oh, that's new. Not sure why there was 2 microphones all of a sudden.
God damn it! We need to fix. Just delete it. Just delete one of them.
Yeah. I'll have to do it in the settings later.
Okay, whatever. Sorry for that.
It just randomly popped up. How long has it been echoing? I feel like it just randomly switched because.
I don't know. I think I might have seen that earlier, but I wasn't sure.
Well, nobody said anything. They were here.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for that, for telling us. So it was horrible because I was like I always had to rush straight. I couldn't, it was not going home. I had to go and immediately deal with this, and I like immediately as I got paid because I was getting paid a lot less back then. I literally spent because I got paid every 2 weeks. I had to spend an entire check, 2 weeks of my pay, 2 weeks of my entire 2-week check to pay it off. Like immediately, I had to go there. I had nothing after that. It had nearly wiped me out. I was skimping by. I was going in with practically bread and cheese sandwiches. Like it was terrible for that month until I got the next check. And it's all because this goddamn paid it on because of interest rates and everything, and all the shit that I wasn't told, I should have been told, and the structures that weren't in place to protect the consumer.
No, and like I said, the same thing is here. It's the same thing.
I mean, I've had thoughts and dreams of just going to that place and just dropping a firebomb in there.
That's the first time I've ever heard Kenneth say some shit along the lines of the way I think. I like it. Anyway, but no, it's like buy here, pay here lots. It's like, oh yeah, here's this car for $3,000. Here, you go look on their finance calculator website. It's like you'd pay $25 a month. Okay, cool. Well, you go there. No bank's gonna finance you on a car that's like above 5 years old, that's used, or above 50,000 miles. No bank will finance that ever, basically. So you're not gonna get financing. So they do in-house financing. Well, then they're like, it's $300 every 2 weeks for X amount of time. And like when you do the math, the interest rate's like 35% or something. It's upwards of 40-50%, which is nuts. And like I end up with a 17.7% APR, which sucks nuts, but it's more than manageable. Right now it's not though. Right now I'm only paying like $150 a month on it because I got like a deferred thing or whatever. But like those buy here pay here lots, like it's insane. So let's say $300 every 2 weeks for 10 months, you're already at like $6,000 almost. Because there's 4 weeks in every month, just about. You're paying $600 each month. $600 a month, yeah, for 10 months. Fucking $6,000.
$300 a month.
$300 every 2 weeks.
Oh yeah.
So $600 a month, basically, give or take, because some days are off, whatever.
Yeah.
And then for 10 months, it's already $6,000. But it goes for more than a year. Like this is like a multi-year term, and it's just like you end up paying like
2 or 3 times
extra thousands of dollars for a car that was worth like $3,000 that probably might not even run or not. But it's the other deal is that it's set up in a way that like basically you as a sketchy person come in and they're just gonna fuck you over. You're gonna pay much more than the car's worth in payments, and then they hope that you just don't pay once so they can repo it and fuck you in the ass on credit and everything else.
So
like that was the deal. I noticed down the street there was this used car lot, and I would see their tow truck there fucking bringing new cars all the time. It was because they were getting repoed, so like I knew not to go check that place out because it's one of those signs, you see in the middle of the night that like a fucking tow truck comes with like 5 vehicles. It's like something's wrong because they're getting cars back all the time. Sketchy.
And that's the thing. These things like that, things like payday loans, they take advantage of poor, desperate people in need.
Yeah, and then there's all these systems in place
to keep
all
them
these
that way.
Sketchy motherfuckers that like run car dealerships are all car dealerships are fucking sketchy as hell.
Well, like
I
what
don't
happened
care
to me?
how good of a car dealership.
My loan was $800. I had to pay at least $1,600, $1,200, or practically double, triple what I took out. I had to pay back in like a month or 2.
Which is stupid because like if you could bring it back immediately, like if you could bring it back immediately, then you shouldn't have to pay anything. Because, like, it's not even out. Even if it's out for a couple days, that's ridiculous. Maybe I could see getting that much interest. Like, no, I actually couldn't see getting that much interest in a month, because that's still nuts.
I couldn't see getting that much interest in 6 months.
I was going to say, I couldn't even see getting that much interest in a year. Dude.
No, exactly. But how the system's built, it fucks you over
daily
royally.
Interest and stuff like that. That's actually how my student loan is right now, and it's putting it in my ass. I owe more now on my student loan than my student loan's worth. I owe like $1,000 more, and like I'm on a payment plan that I can afford right now, and it doesn't even cover interest. Yeah. It's actually dragging my credit score down because I'm accruing more debt instead of paying it off, even though I'm paying on time.
Yeah. So let me get
student loans is fucking me.
Yeah. So let's get to the story. So the Consumer Financial Protection Board, one of the nation's top regulators on protecting consumers, is putting in new rules to stop payday debt traps that have plagued communities across the country. Too often, borrowers who need quick cash end up trapped in loans they can't afford. The rules' common sense ability to repay protections prevent lenders from succeeding by setting up borrowers to fail. They truly do. Truly do. It's a $38 billion industry. But the new centerpiece of the rules makes a full payment test that lenders would be required to conduct to make sure the borrower could afford to pay off the loan and still meet basic living expenses and major financial obligations. The rule limits the number of loans that can be made in quick succession to a specific borrower to 3, and the consumer would be allowed to take out short-term loans as much as $500 without
There are no caps on interest rates, though. That's a problem.
Without full payment debt. Where does it say that?
Right after the individual borrower to 3, there are no caps on interest rate.
Yeah, mine doesn't have that. Because, of course not. There are no caps on interest rates. That's terrible. There should be. There definitely needs to be.
Yeah.
Such loans could not be offered to borrowers without reason or outstanding loans due to shorting or balloon payments, which is probably what I was dealing with. It was like balloon payments or something. It certainly felt like it. Goddamn. The rules won't go into effect until mid-2019 and are strongly opposed by most Republicans, including probably Trump. The first 5-year term of Cordray, who was appointed by President Obama, his term expires in July of next year. So that means basically when he expires, these terms start, which means Trump could get somebody in there immediately and overturn these rules. And like I said, Trump could nominate a replacement. Who that could rescind the rules before they even go into effect. Payday. Now, the short-term loans, such as those secured with automobile titles, have been a fixture in low-income and working-class communities for years. They surged through use during the Great Recession and its aftermath as struggling consumers looked for quick infusions of cash to pay bills. The loans are available online or at an estimated 21,000 storefronts across the nation, usually as cash advances and workers' paychecks. The loans are typically for 2 or 4 weeks and carry a flat 15% rate, a 15% fee, or an interest rate that doesn't sound particularly high. But the cost can add up quickly if the loan isn't paid off. Consumer advocates have criticized payday lenders taking advantage of cash of Americans. Consumer Bureau analysts of 12 million payday loans found that 22% of borrowers renewed their loans at least 6 times. Which, I mean, that's a problem.
What you're even reading anymore. Like, it's different by a lot. Unless you were skipping through it.
No, it's down there somewhere. Well, I guess it has changed. Whatever. I'm reading a story. These fucking people always update every fucking story. Well, I'm right there, actually. So.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, but that shows there's an issue. That shows there is a cycle of debt that these people cannot break because of these loans. Mm-hmm. I mean, hell, I wouldn't be surprised if people have to take out loans to pay for the loans they already have in the same goddamn company.
Actually, it would probably be more prudent for them to take out a loan from a bank to pay these people. Because then at least it's manageable.
Yeah, probably. At least a bank wouldn't fuck you over as badly as these people.
TD-ECU would fuck me over.
As badly as these people.
That's true. They wouldn't fuck me over. They would just tell me no.
Yeah.
Like some other banks would be like, sure, why not? We give you money.
Yeah. Sure. So, I'm glad that these moves are going to go into effect, but I'm not glad because Trump will inevitably elect somebody to this, put in somebody in this position who will rescind all the rules. It basically, because part of what...
It'll be like Ajit Pai.
Yeah, pretty much. Because part of what the Republicans want to do is eliminate this board.
Yes, because Republicans like to protect these shitty, swindling fucks. They like to keep the rich.
Well, and also for the fact that $38 billion, a good chunk of it goes to paying off congressmen.
Does it? Oh, yeah I bet.
Yeah, no, one of the biggest donators of congressmen is like payday loan people because they know it makes money. And they know if they can keep Congress in their pocket, they won't do anything to limit them.
Yep.
But this board gets around Congress because it sets up the regulations. Mm-hmm. But if Congress eliminates it, like they very, very much want to, then it will fuck over the consumers. Because of course,
there's also a lot of other things. It won't just fuck over consumers for this; it'll fuck over consumers for a lot of things.
Yes,
that board does a lot of stuff.
That board does a lot of things, and it protects it protects the people from swindlers and just terrible. Anyways, next story.
Alrighty then. Judge accepts Arpaio pardon, dismisses guilty verdict. U.S. District Court Judge Susan Bolton had heard arguments on Wednesday over whether or not to abide by President Donald Trump's pardon of former Maricopa County Sheriff Joe Arpaio. There we go, Arpaio. Arpaio had been found guilty of criminal contempt for disobeying a court order to cease a controversial traffic patrol program targeting immigrants. Attorneys for Arpaio and the Justice Department urged Bolton to dismiss Arpaio's guilty verdict. After taking the matter under consideration, Judge Bolton decided to do just that, dismissing the verdict with prejudice. So Arpaio is not in danger of having to deal with this matter in the future. The decision came a day before Arpaio was scheduled to be sentenced. Arpaio's attorney also asked the judge to dismiss all other orders and rulings that were issued during the case. Judge Bolton said she would consider it, but did not make the decision at the time. Those in opposition to the pardon believe that it overstepped the president's power. As broad as it may be, the idea was that if government official violated someone's constitutional rights and was then allowed to escape punishment, it would essentially weaken the Constitution. The argument said that while the pardon may have been appropriate, the fact that Arpaio hadn't been sentenced yet meant that there was no final order in the case, so the verdict could not be dismissed. The Judge Bolton herself had previously questioned whether she could vacate a judgment that didn't exist yet, and whether it was more appropriate to just eliminate his punishment but have the conviction stand. Since raising that issue, Bolton had both sides of the case submit briefs on the issue, and after reviewing those and hearing arguments, she decided to dismiss the verdict after all.
So yes, our good friend Joe Arpaio is out.
So yes, people did stuff. I'll cover this one too. Okay. Large-scale trials for HIV vaccine after promising results. A vaccine that delivered promising results in treating all known strains of HIV is moving on to a large-scale testing in humans. Holy shit, nice. Pharmaceutical company Johnson & Johnson says, the company's chief scientific officer, Paul Stoffels, made the announcement at the recent Global Citizens Festival. For the past 10 years, we've been working on an HIV vaccine, using an innovative technology platform, the same technology we are using to make vaccines for Ebola and Zika, he explained. Previous attempts on an HIV vaccine have struggled against the virus's diversity and ability to rapidly mutate. Johnson & Johnson's vaccine exposed the body to different pieces of the virus in a mosaic to get a broader response from the immune system. In July, the company first produced promising results in a smaller study of the vaccine. In early-stage clinical studies, we've seen a 100% immune response in 350 healthy volunteers who participated in the study. Stoffels told the Global Citizens Festival, "Today we are thrilled to announce for the first time we are going into large-scale efficacy testing of the vaccine in humans. As a scientist and physician, I can tell you this vaccine holds promise of groundbreaking development. We all know that science is unpredictable, but these results make me more optimistic than ever, that we will get a vaccine in our lifetime and prevent people from contracting HIV forever." The next phase of testing will be conducted on 260 women in 5 African countries. In the study, it's hoped the efficacy rate of 90% will be reached, but even a rate of 50% will be able to reduce HIV rate by 35%, scientists said. Late last month, scientists from the U.S. National Institutes of Health and pharmaceutical company Sanofi announced they'd combined 3 natural HIV antibodies into one to attack 99% of known HIV strains.
So this is fantastic. This is the elimination of HIV and AIDS. This is something most people didn't think we'd see in, lifetimes. Mm-hmm. No longer...
Now, if we get the cure for cancer, I think we're, good.
I think we're going to be good, but this is a fantastic thing.
This is going to be good for all the gay, the gay community and stuff.
Yeah, gay community and Africa.
And Africans.
Gay community and Africans, because Africa suffers horribly from HIV/AIDS.
Africans and African Americans. For some reason, it specifically seems to more target the black people, the black communities, and stuff like that.
I think it's a part of it because of money and education, knowledge. I think that's part of it. Is why it's so prominent in the black community versus other communities.
I suppose. But some of it down there is just from spreading through other regions.
Yeah, no, like in Africa and such, it's because a lot of people have unprotected sex because it's heavily frowned upon there to have condoms. Thanks to our good old U.S. policy of telling countries, hey, you want foreign aid where you're going to push abstinence only, no condoms. So, yay America for not being able to prevent diseases when we could easily.
And I don't think that's necessarily our fault. It's also their
it's the culture, but we've also contributed a large amount because we've held aid as hostage if they don't do that.
Held what?
Foreign aid. Yeah. So it was it was part of the policies that we're not going to help you if you don't institute these.
Why are we a stupid Christian nation? Because why is the separation of church and state not a thing anymore? That is one of the things that bothers me most. We wouldn't have any of these issues. Sure, the people would fight amongst each other, but if there was separation of church and state, there would be no question of what the state would do and decide on these things. Even if they had their own beliefs, the separation of church and state is a clear fact of the U.S. Constitution? Actually, Declaration of Independence and everything, isn't it? No, it was written afterwards.
It was I think it's part of the Constitution, but I think it was specifically written in the Treaty of Tripoli by James Madison.
Yeah, I thought it was the Federalist Papers and stuff like that was in there too. It was referred upon by a lot of people that to have a nice free and just society, the separation of church and state is a must. Mm-hmm. And also the whole no party system.
Well, Washington spoke out against the party system. It's not like explicitly.
Not just Washington, but a lot of other people do.
Yeah, but Washington is the most noted one.
Yeah. Why didn't we listen to our forefathers? I mean, they probably didn't know the implications. Now,
a party would have inevitably formed. Hell, a party formed after Washington. Like 4 parties formed after Washington died.
Yeah. So, but like, I wonder what our forefathers would say if they saw America now.
I think they'd be disappointed.
Oh no, I think they would be hella disappointed.
I mean, especially considering there's only 2 parties. Unlike if you look at like India, which has a higher voter turnout than us, has like 40 fucking parties that clearly represents exactly what those people believe. You know, they do democracy better than we do democracy.
Which is one of those reasons why I don't vote, because like I said, I would have voted for Bernie Sanders because his ideals and my ideals lined up, and that's the only reason why I would vote. I need somebody running for office that I would fully support. I supported Bernie 100%. Nothing he said was bad to me. Like, there wasn't anything he said was bad. Sure, there's the whole socialism is bad thing that everybody keeps saying that everybody's super adamantly against. But it's like, but it's good. Like, I can get free college education if I wanted to. Not that
healthcare.
I would. But like,
nobody's dying in the streets because they can't pay their medical debt.
Did you say nobody's dying in the streets because they can't pay their medical debt?
Yeah, if Bernie got Medicare for all.
Oh no, yeah, that's what if that could have happened, and there's an intelligent way to do it in the capitalistic society with taxes, and if you cut spending, I'm fairly certain if you cut spending out of the fucking military.
They ran numbers. So like, I think like the Medicare program currently, operating expenses for that is only 2%. Mm-hmm. So 98% of that money goes to actual care. Mm-hmm. Private insurance, it's about 20% that goes into administration, and 80% that goes to care. Mm-hmm. So even with Medicare, Medicaid, etc., it's a more efficient program that has lower operating expenses and does more. What's not to get? I'd rather my...
Oh, no, that's not what I'm talking about.
No, I'm just saying for the other people who may be like, well, I don't want to get socialism.
Well, the problem with that they have with socialism is they already don't like the government taking their money and redistributing it.
That's the thing.
They want the government
people we out here, we pay for health insurance already. What's the difference in whether we pay for it ourselves or it comes out of our taxes? But we get better results and everybody gets insurance.
And you won't get denied anything if it's universal.
There's no more. Oh, sorry, your insurance doesn't work here. You have to go to the hospital down the way. That's where your insurance is valid.
Or you're not covered for that very specific thing.
Or sorry, that's out of network. We don't cover that.
Yeah, I'm sorry, that's not a network. You have to pay full price here.
Yeah, exactly. This is not going to be that. If you get sick and you have cancer or something, you walk into the hospital, you get your treatment, you get out, you don't get a bill. That's what happens to people in the UK. When they get sick, they can go to any fucking hospital. They'll get service. Yep. And you know what? They don't walk out with $100,000 in medical debt and go bankrupt.
Yep.
Anyway, let me cover the story.
Cover the story so we get out of here.
Yes. So this is a combination from the last story to this story. So HIV cases among gay and bisexual men dropped for the first time as experts hail significant advance. So this is good news for HIV this week. It's dying. And I don't mean the people who have it are dying.
Okay, now let's go.
New cases of HIV have fallen among gay and bisexual men for the first time, thanks partly to the controversial new drug labeled as promiscuity pills by critics. A 21%.
I remember that was a big deal when this came out.
Yeah. They're also very expensive. That's also a problem with them. Yeah. 21% decline has been hailed as one of the most significant advances in the fight against the epidemic since it took hold in the 80s. Overall, there's been an 18% drop in the number of people newly diagnosed with the STD, 4,164 last year. The biggest fall on record according to the Public Health England. The downward trend was boosted by London, traditionally an area of high prevalence, where new cases among gay and bisexual men fell 29%. Wow, that's significant. 30%. Just imagine, in 3 years, if trend hold, that's a 90% reduction. That's massive. Health officials said that the improved picture was due to more regular and frequent testing, as well as quicker diagnosis and treatment. But the Taryn Higgs Trust, which campaigns on behalf of HIV patients, said access to the controversial new drug PrEP, or pre-exposure prophylaxis, which the NHS has been legally obligated to start funding, would also contribute to fall in cases. The medication, which is taken in pill form before sex, reduces the risk of infection by approximately 86%. That's pretty good. That's very good.
That's very good.
It's like, I'm trying to find good words for it. Yeah. It's expensive, however, and other patient groups, such as those with rare cancers, have said their funding for treatments have suffered due to its cost. But Dr. Valerie Delpech from HE said this is very good news. It's the first time since the beginning of the HIV epidemic in the 80s that we've observed a clear decline in new HIV diagnosis among gay and bisexual men, and it is very clear evidence that HIV prevention efforts are working across the United States.
You can always use condoms, eh?
Yeah.
Anyway.
The Trust welcomed the new statistics, but cautioned that 42% of people with HIV are still being diagnosed late, reducing the efficacy of treatments to help them live with the disease for which there is not yet a cure. But as we covered before, there's very close to a vaccine. Does a vaccine? I don't think a vaccine works after you're already infected.
Well, it says it's to train the antibodies against it.
It is to train antibodies against it.
So it might work still.
Maybe. I don't really know that. If anybody out there knows that, please let me know. I'm not 100% sure.
It depends. A vaccine does cure it. Well, that's the thing. They were saying they're using the same technology used to cure Zika and the other one.
Yeah, I suppose you're right.
So it would be more of a cure. Basically, what it is subjecting your immune system, because HIV is an autoimmune disorder that your immune system can't fight for whatever reason.
Well, it's viral.
But it's because it mutates super quick, apparently.
Yeah. Well, and apparently
it's like cancer. Cancer is a fucking disorder that your immune system can't fight because it's
bad cells.
In an easy way to say, it's retarded cells.
Yeah, but this is promising in the story we covered between both of these companies who they're in Johnson & Johnson.
I like Johnson & Johnson because Johnson & Johnson's like a pretty good company.
That has 100% effectiveness rate in their small trial, and when they go to the large trial, we'll see more from that. Yep. And then the Sophie, which has an 85 or 86% success rate. So between those two, I dare say, within the next 5 to 10 years, we are close to curing HIV/AIDS.
Yep.
I mean, this is going to be massive because imagine all the money that could be redirected for cancer research. Once we can eliminate these diseases and start focusing on stuff that has been diverted for other funds. Just imagine what we could do with all the money that goes to HIV/AIDS that can go to cancer research now. Yep. Imagine the scientists who have been devoted on the research for these different diseases who can now refocus.
Just think about how happy they'd be.
Yeah.
Just think about these people actually finally going on and living their lives.
Yeah, just imagine there's not a death sentence anymore.
Yep. And it's not just taking medicine to deal with it.
Yeah. So this is going to be great news for everyone. Yeah. Everyone. This is fantastic news.
Mainly for gays and
Africans.
But hey, as I will say, gay people deserve the right to live too. Even though our country and our powers that be, most of them seem to think otherwise for some reason.
Yeah.
Sadly. So, anyway, on that note, I'm ready to end the stream. Yes. He needs to go home.
Yes, I do.
Fuck out of my house. My ass hurts for once. And I need to go play some Escape from Tarkov. So back in 30 minutes probably, I'll be playing some Escape from Tarkov. See you people then. Also, I think that's it. Yeah, just Escape from Tarkov.
So let's see what stories we didn't get a chance to cover. So
a bunch of shit.
So Yahoo. Let me just do a quick deal there, super quick. So Yahoo. Every Yahoo account has been affected. All 3 billion of them. Russian hackers stole NSA tools from contractor who used Kaspersky software. So as we covered it last week, Kaspersky, the federal government said Kaspersky had to be taken off of all government. Kaspersky.
It's very Russian.
Had to be taken off of all government computers. Clearly, there was a good reason for it because Russia has hacked it and is using it to hack into government computers. This guy did actually break regulations because he took home sensitive information to his house when he wasn't supposed to, but that's besides the point. Infotainment centers are causing drivers to be very distracted. I can attest to some personal results. I have an infotainment center, and yes, I am actually relatively distracted, and I'm worried by it, and I intend to self-correct.
It's not going to happen. The technology is too good.
Equifax, as we covered, and as we covered before, and as everybody knows, Equifax has one of the largest data breaches of American history, with over 200-something million Americans' information breached. So Equifax has just recently been awarded a $7 million anti-fraud prevention contract by the IRS in a no-bid contract, which means the IRS did not go out and get bits from other countries. They only gave it to the IRS. They only gave it to Equifax. So IRS working with Equifax, it's a bad move. IRS, break your contract. Let's see. Bakery that listed love as an ingredient is full of filth, bugs, and violations. So there's the news story about a bakery who was selling granola bars that had love as the listed ingredient. The FDA said no, stop that. Love cannot be an ingredient, of course. But the majority of the letter was talking about how they had bugs and shit in their bread. Let's see. A man tries to rob a bank. The bank teller says no. The robber walks away. I have no idea why. Republicans angry at economists.
He was probably Canadian.
Maybe.
Sorry.
Republicans angry at economists for finding their tax cuts go to the rich. In the latest plan from the Republican Party, they found that 80% of the tax plan would go to the top 1%. And then Fox got mad at the economists for telling them the truth. Man accidentally shoots himself while calming a crying son. While the man was attempting to reach into the back of his vehicle, his chest holster, his shoulder-hosted side gun, there was a magnum, fell out of his gun. He attempted to grab it, pulled the trigger, shot himself in the stomach, and died.
Wow. Fun.
A lacrosse couple caught having sex in the car. A cop came to stop them after there was a report from a neighbor. The cop came in, tried to stop them, played with a flashlight at them. The couple refused to stop having sex. The cop gave them a few minutes to get together. The cop went back. They were still having sex. And the guy's like, bro, I'm trying to have sex. And the cop's like, nah, get out. And then took them out. And the cop's like, you should get dressed. And the guy's like, dude, it's a dick. You have one, deal with it. But then they take them both to jail for
indecent exposure.
Indecent exposure and like lewd in public or something. So that was stories we didn't get a chance to
cover.
Looks
like Crucifix. A little chubbier.
Yeah. So those are the stories we didn't get a chance to cover. But we'll try and do better next time. Thank you for joining us on Table Talk Thursday, episode 26 of our 6-month anniversary of doing this. And join us again next week. And have a good evening.
Yep. Have a good night, everybody. Peace out. See ya. Thank you for joining, Dakota. I'll see you probably tomorrow. I'm already tired, so maybe I'll get a real sleep schedule soon. Probably not. But anyway, have a good night, everybody. I'll be back on in a few minutes after I move my computer. Deuces.